Sports presents the best of the National Football. It's a battle for third place in the Eastern Division of the AFC today as the Miami Dolphins take on the Baltimore Colts. And the Colts won the toss but have elected to kick off because of a wind factor. It'll be Don Bessalou and Nick Giapunto back deep for the Miami Dolphins. I'm Merle Harmon with Carl Eller, and welcome aboard. And on the goal line is Bessalou at the 15. He's across the 20 to the 23, possibly the 24-yard line. And the Dolphins will be on the offense first this afternoon, led by sensational rookie quarterback David Woodley from LSU. Delvin Williams is starting today in place of Tony Nathan, and Woody Bennett out of Miami University will be the fullback. Duriel Harris has had a fine year. Nat Moore, you know what he has done in the past. Outstanding veteran. The Dolphins, with a 7-7 record, have this offensive line led by Bob Kuechenberg, the veteran who is playing the left guard spot. And Ed Newman has done an outstanding job over the other guard spot. So the Dolphins get the first shot this afternoon, but right now we have a holdup because of an injury on the kickoff. And I believe it is Ed Smith on the special teams who was injured for Baltimore. In the meantime, that gives us an opportunity to talk about this young man, David Woodley, one of the sensational stories of this National Football League season. Not drafted high. In fact, so far down the list, he really didn't expect to make the team. His mother was getting his housing accommodations all set for him back in Louisiana, in Shreveport, and lo and behold, he showed that he not only belonged in the NFL, but he has made this ball club at Miami as the starting quarterback, taking over for the injured Bob Greasy, and he has been absolutely outstanding. Ed Smith being helped off the field now under his own power, a little groggy, but hopefully he'll be okay. So the Dolphins are ready to roll here in Baltimore. Earlier this year, in the previous meeting in Miami, it was the Colts who won it. This is David Woodley. First down to the 23. Two tight ends are in now for Miami. And Delvin Williams on the slant goes out across the 30 and is stopped at about the 31-yard line. And the defense led by Mike Woods making the tackle. Fred Cook. Mike Barnes has always been great against Miami. Look for him to have a big game again today. I don't know what it is, but he just seems to come up to his very best against the Dolphins. Linebackers, Ed Simonini leads the tacklers. This entire ball club, he has had an outstanding year, and Bruce Laird at strong safety, and look for him today. They're saying that he is having an all-pro year and deserves it. After a gain of 6, 2nd and 4. If Woodley completes his pass, it'll be his 12th straight, but he didn't. It was intended for Ronnie Lee, the tight end. That breaks the string. Mike Woods, the linebacker, number 59, had the coverage on the play. So David Woodley, who had 11 straight completions in his last ball game, is incomplete on the first try today. And Carl Eller, I guess if there was any nervousness attached to that statistic, it's all over.
Well, it's all over now, Merle, but he's off to a fine start here. You see he's going to mix up his plays, starting off with running play and a little pass out to the flat. I think he's feeling very confident.
Third down, about 4. Tony Nathan, 22, is down the backfield for Miami. Woodley completes it to Nat Moore. Moore a first down at the 40 and more to the 43-yard line. Brought down by Lyle Blackwood, number 44, and Larry Brazil, number 47, from the Baltimore secondary. A gain of 12 yards and a first down for the Dolphins.
Nat Moore, I'll tell you, he's a Cajun receiver. You saw what he did last week in the Monday night game, coming with an excellent catch there, saved a touchdown, or made a touchdown, giving the Dolphins a win, and certainly bringing them in fine position here today, even though they're not in the playoffs. Head
coach Don Chilla, not used to wearing a jacket, but it's chilly today in Baltimore, in the high 30s, but the wind chill has it much lower than that. First down, Miami. Delvin Williams trying to get to the 45, doesn't quite make it. Mike Barnes, number 63, an 8-year veteran from Miami University, makes the tackle with help from Sander Shiver, number 54, the outside linebacker on the left side. A gain of about a yard. Let's give him 2 yards. Second down and 8, and Woody Bennett is now in the backfield for the Dolphins. And going out of the ball game, Bruce Hardy, he was in for just one play. Delvin Williams comes back, and he'll be in there with Woody Bennett as the running backs. David Woodley, 10 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 57% completion. 2nd and 8. The draw. Bennett to midfield. Short of a first down by about 3. Mike Woods, 59, the linebacker, out of the University of Cincinnati, makes the stop. In the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills, lots of trouble at New England today. And, of course, Baltimore and Miami tied for 3rd. The New York Jets lost to New Orleans this afternoon. The Saints have won their first game of the year. They are 1-14. They just beat the Jets. That game ended a few minutes ago. Bruce Hardy is in, along with Ronnie Lee, double tight end. Don Shula sends in the power offense, 3rd down 3. Moore, the motion man. Woodley rolling, can run, throws it, almost intercepted. Kim Anderson, number 26, just about picked it off the ground. It was intended for Nat Moore, 89, the wide receiver, and it's 4th down 3 for the Dolphins.
Well, that was a good play, an excellent play call there by Dave Woodley. But what he did there, he rolled out, giving himself some time, trying to gain a little ground there. But his offensive line were very close to him. And I think he had trouble seeing over the ball carriers, and that probably accounts for the bad throw.
George Roberts, the 4th best kicker in the NFL this year with a 42.8 average. And a long shot of 71 will kick it away on 4th down 3, and Nesby Glasgow is deep for Baltimore. The left footer hits a line drive and gets a roll. And pretty good distance. How about that one? Inside the 10 at the 9. And that's where the Baltimore Colts will have to start from. First down, a 41-yard kick as the Baltimore Colts, led by Burt Jones, come on the field. Right now, let's go to Bryant Gumbel in New York for an update.
Merle Harmon, here's the most dramatic play of this 15th Sunday of the season. No time left on the clock. Tommy Kramer throwing it up for grabs, and out of the pile of human beings, Ahmad Rashad takes into the end zone the NFC Central title for the Minnesota Vikings. They beat the Browns 28-23. Merle?
All right, Brian. Oh, what a story that one is. As Dickey on the first carry of the day goes out to about the 12-yard line. Curtis Dickey, number 27. The former All-American from Texas A&M, stopped by Doug Fetters, the defensive right end, number 75. And that Miami defense really coming on. But right now, Burt Jones with Curtis Dickey and Cleveland Franklin in the backfield. And Dickey's had a super year. Roger Carr is having his finest season as a wide receiver. And the rookie, Ray Butler out of USC, a good year. On the line, Robert Pratt, one of the best blocking guards in the business. And Ken Huff over at right tackle having a good year for Baltimore. This is Marvin Sims, who is now in at fullback, number 39, getting to the 16. He may have dropped that football, but it was a play over. Or did Baltimore recover? I believe Baltimore still has the football.
I think the play was over.
The defensive line, what a play by Bob Baumhauer Monday night, blocking the field goal attempt by John Smith, sending the game into overtime against New England, which Miami won. So he's a hero this week. And the linebacking core, Kim Bocamper, Rusty Chambers starting this afternoon in place of Ralph Ortega. And the defensive secondary, Gerald Small, Ed Taylor at the corners, Pessalou and Blackwood. And Joe Washington now in the game for Baltimore. Runs it out to the 19-yard line and is close to a first down. You see 51, Rusty Chambers. You see number 58, Kim Bocamper, and Bob Baumhauer, number 73, right on the bottom. Now the officials take a look. And it's a little bit short. 4th down coming up. And Carl Eller, how about your old Minnesota Vikings?
Wow, what a day.
Big play, huh?
What a day they have. I'm telling you, they have really just come back all year. They've been counted out from the very start. In fact, they got to the game today because they were in title contention. No one really expected them to be, but Bud Grant's doing an excellent job there. Congratulations, Minnesota Vikings.
Now coming on is Mike Bragg to punt for Baltimore. A little better than 39-yard average. He was the kicker for the Washington Redskins for 12 years. Nick Giaquinto is deep for the Miami Dolphins. No score. First quarter, 10-11 to go in the first period. Pretty good hit by Bragg's. Got a wind behind him. Giaquinto having to go all the way back to the 25-yard line. At the 30, the 35, flag is down. He's to the 39. Giaquinto comes back to the 39, but we'll have to see what the flag is about, as it was thrown back on the 30-yard line. And Sander Schreiber downfield to make the hit for the Baltimore Colts. Kick of 59 yards and a 13-yard return. And the penalty logged against the Miami Dolphins. Fred Wyant, the official referee. That Minnesota win over the Cleveland Browns really throws the Central Division of the AFC into a topsy-turvy affair, with Houston and Cleveland now tied for first. Minnesota, as Bryant mentioned a moment ago, has won the Central Division of the NFC. Let's listen.
Illegal use of the hand, number 46, first down.
46 is Don Veselu who gets the foul. Carl?
That's, if you wonder why Coach McCormick chose to kick the ball, the reason is that wind. You saw the distance on that kick, their 59-yard kick, plus the yardage on this penalty. It really makes that an excellent play. Great change of field position.
Now Miami in its second possession this afternoon with 9 minutes and 59 seconds to go in the first quarter. No score of the ball, just across the 20-yard line. And the Dolphins, led by the number 8 draft choice, David Woodley out of LSU, who wasn't really a full-time quarterback at LSU. He shared the quarterbacking duties there, but he has really taken over with the Dolphins. First down. In Baltimore, it's the Baltimore Colts and the Miami Dolphins, and we welcome those of you who have been watching the Cleveland-Minnesota game, which ended, we don't have to tell you, in a most dramatic fashion with Tommy Kramer throwing that touchdown pass. And so here in Baltimore, we have just started with 9 minutes and 37 seconds left to play in the first period. No score between Miami and Baltimore as they battle for third place in the Eastern Division of the AFC. Don Shula on the sideline. This is the first time that his team, and for that matter, the Baltimore Colts, one or the other, has not been involved in a playoff picture since 1970. This is David Woodley, the outstanding rookie quarterback of Miami, on a second down 1. Woodley over the middle, incomplete. Ed Simonini broke up the play. It was intended for Tony Nathan coming out of the backfield. I'm Merle Herman with Carl Eller, and we'll give you another look at that one. As Tony Nathan out of the backfield for this pass. Carl?
Okay, we see David Woodley goes up. He's got a nice drop back. He sets up in the pocket, but the Colt defensive line starts to crush in on him, and Mike Ostowski starts to put a little pressure in. I think he puts the pressure in, and he just gets to Woodley before he releases the ball.
Now it is third down 9 here in Baltimore. A chilly afternoon. Joe Rose, number 80, is coming at tight end. Woodley has hit 1,484 yards and 10 touchdowns going into the game today. Nat Moore goes in motion. It is Tony Nathan, brought down by Reggie Pinckney, number 37, but he is short of a first down at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch the running styles of these backs here today. We'll have a chance to really watch several different styles. But watching Tony Nathan run, he picks his holes, follows his blockers, and you'll see him get the most out of any running play that there is.
So it is fourth down 1, and once more the punting unit comes on for the Miami Dolphins, and left footer George Roberts out of Virginia Tech, a 3-year veteran, will pop it away. And Nesby Glasgow, 25, is deep for Baltimore. Ball going up into that wind. Look at the ball stop now. Strong wind fighting that ball, and it is down on the 42-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. So the Colts wind up with their best field position, a 27-yard kick by Rodgers, and he came into the game with almost a 43-yard average, fourth best in the AFC. Timeout in Baltimore. No score. We'll return after this.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. People who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours a happy and safe holiday season.
You know, I happened to tell my Allstate agent about how everything I have two of.
Hi, Dad.
Like 2 cars, he asked. Maybe Allstate's 2-car discount can save you money on insurance. I compared. Allstate saves me more. I can use the money.
Noah, dinner.
One wife.
Compare. Allstate's multi-car discount may save you more money. You're in good hands with Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the good hands people.
This is Brian Gumble in New York at Mile High Stadium in Denver. A trick play has backfired on the Broncos. Fake field goal, Matt Robinson hits Burgess Owens right between the fours. And Owens takes it 58 yards the other way, untouched. Point after puts the Raiders ahead of the Broncos 7-0 early in the first period. Let's go back to Merle Harmon and Carl Eller in Baltimore.
Thank you, Brian. And here in Baltimore, Mike McCormick in his first year as head coach of the Baltimore Colts, and Don Shula, who used to be here, but he has been down south since 1970, where he built a dynasty, but he is in the rebuilding process. And Carl, the amazing thing about Don Shula, his Miami Dolphins are out of it this year, but everyone thinks they're going to be contending strongly next year. As Burt Jones goes to the air, the ball kind of slipped out of his hands, and Bob Baumhauer was there all over it, and Burt Jones says, hey, what happened there? It looked like, I don't know if anybody deflected that ball or not. It looked like it simply didn't have a good grip on it or something. Let's see if we can pick it up, Carl.
Well, he gets pressure in there. Dewey starts to come in from his defensive end spot, and he gets a little pressure there. I think it does slip out, as we see here, but you can see the defensive line for Miami is starting to give him a little pressure.
The wind chill here in Baltimore gives us a temperature index of much lower than the 30-odd degrees that it is, the high 30s. Second down, 10 in the 42 of Baltimore. No score. Curtis Dickey. Nice run by Dickey, and he's getting more out of it. Plenty for a first down into Miami territory to the 42-yard line to pick up a 17 yards. Larry Gordon, number 50, the outside linebacker, made the stop for the Miami Dolphins. Another ball games this afternoon, and we've had some very exciting ones. The New England Patriots are still in it. They beat the Buffalo Bills 24-2. Minnesota in that big fourth quarter to beat Cleveland 28-23. Tommy Kramer throwing for 3 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter and 4 in the game. First down, Baltimore. This is Marvin Sims, the big rookie from Clemson, who scored his first touchdown as a pro last week in Cincinnati. Brought down by Larry Gordon, number 50 once again. And the Houston Oilers tied Cleveland with Cleveland's loss for the Central Division lead with that victory over the Green Bay Packers. Earl Campbell scoring a pair today. And Pittsburgh from behind to beat Kansas City 21-16, and Rocky Bleier closing out a great career in Pittsburgh in his last home game, scoring the winning touchdown.
Okay, Rocky Bleier is really a fantastic player and a great human being.
Second down, 6. Sims in motion. Jones draw back the other way. And look at Curtis Dickey. He's in the open. He'll go. Touchdown, Curtis Dickey. 38 yards.
Okay, I'll tell you, we watched this Curtis Dickey. He's really an exciting football player, and I just talked to Lenny Moore here a few minutes ago here at the Baltimore Stadium, but this Dickey is certainly reminiscent of the great Lenny Moore days. You see, he's got the style, the size, and the speed, and he was a sprinter, but he's a gutsy sprinter. He carries the ball and breaks it open and goes for a touchdown. Just can't say enough about this guy. He ties, I think, now Campbell out of Houston with 13 touchdowns for the season.
Landry will hold. Mickemeyer will go for the extra point. He's got it. The Colts jump in front. 7 minutes, 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. And in this first period, Curtis Dickey had 3 carries for 57 yards, including a 38-yard touchdown run for the 7-0 lead. We'll be back.
When high interest rates keep America from buying the fuel-efficient cars it needs, it's time to do something about it. Starting now, when you buy a new U.S.-built 81 Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge passenger car on credit, you can deduct 6% from the sticker price, including options, because we think the interest rates are 6% too high. That number will move up or down depending on a significant change in the prime interest rate. Make your best deal, then get $325 to $1,000 direct from Chrysler. We'll help you buy the car you want.
I'm hurting in places I didn't know I had. They got me doing things I never thought I could. Feeling good, feeling strong. Heart is something I belong.
The Army can make you feel a lot of ways. Challenged, trained, and proud.
With this time
It's highlights of the Ice Follies and Holiday on Ice, starring Peggy Fleming with your host, Tony Randall. The world's 2 greatest ice extravaganzas. Monday.
Carl, I said it was going to be cold in Baltimore, but not that cold.
Well, it is cold here today. We're getting a nice wind chill factor here, and I'm not sure what the temperature is, but the wind has certainly got something to do with it.
And that Dickey is something, isn't he?
Oh, he's great. Fantastic runner.
Now the Dolphins will see if they can get it going here as Mickemeyer will kick it away. Pessalou in the end zone will not bring it back.
Just as we're talking about the wind factor, you can certainly see the differences in the distance on the kicks. That adds about a 15 yards, I'd say, to a kick. About 10 yards on that kickoff there. It was really deep in the end zone.
So the Dolphins, who are down by a score of 7-0, led by David Woodley, the young quarterback, who got his first start of the year at New Orleans and threw 3 interceptions in the first half, but Don Shula, who has, as you well know, been one of the super coaches in pro football, saw something in this young man and has stuck with him, has brought him back as a starter. This is his 9th consecutive start. He has Delvin Williams and Woody Bennett in the backfield with him. Woodley with a quick release hits Delvin Williams, and he is dumped at about the 25. Ed Simonetti, number 56, the middle linebacker, the 5-year veteran from Texas A&M, who's the leading tackler for the Baltimore Colts this year, picks up another one. Gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
I'll tell you, Simonetti, he's the leading tackler, and we've been talking about him all year. But you see, he's the middle linebacker in there in the 4-3 defensive setup, and there he makes the tackle on the sideline on the screenplay that was dumped off to Delvin Williams.
Bruce Hardy, number 84, has come in at tight end to join Ronnie Lee, number 86. Jimmy Cephalo is out of the ball game right now. Nat Morris split wide to the left. Here we go, 2nd and 5. Woody Bennett, the fullback, close to a first down. In his 2nd year out of Miami, has rushed for 101 yards going into this ball game and 2 ball games. Bruce Laird, number 40, Nesby Glasgow, 25, make the stop.
We see that the Dolphins are using the 2 tight end offense. There are a couple reasons they could be doing this. One is it brings the linebackers up. They're going to throw a lot of the flat passes and a lot of the screen passes like they've done so far today. It keeps the linebackers out of the play. And another reason, it maybe gives a little added protection there if one of the tight ends stay in block for Woodley.
The distance good enough for a first down, just barely, a little more than 5 yards. Delvin Williams on the pitch, the former Kansas star, out across the 35 to the 37, almost the 38, before he is stopped. And the tackler is Mike Barnes, 63, as we mentioned before. This 8-year veteran from Miami University has always had outstanding days against the Dolphins. I guess that figures. He always wants to go back and do well against the hometown team. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
That Barnes is an excellent tackle. He hasn't had the sacks in the past couple of weeks where it's a great pass rush. He's been hurt in the past, and you'll see him today. I think he's going to break his streak of not having a sack and probably get back into the swing of things.
Woody Bennett hitting hard. He may have the first down. If he doesn't, he'll be very, very close. Larry Brazil, 47. Herb Orvis, 88. Are the tacklers for the Baltimore Colts, and we have 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and the Colts are leading by a score of 7-0 on a 38-yard touchdown run by Curtis Dickey.
I think we have really 2 closely matched teams today, both of their records being the same, 7-7, and both of them being out of the playoffs, but they are playing really good football. The Colts could have easily been in the playoffs, and Miami have not really had the good season, but they've come on strong here late in the year.
Any part of the ball will do it. First down, Dolphins. So Dennis Woodley has brought the Dolphins to the 42-yard line. It's a chilly day in Baltimore. The temperature in the high 30s at game time, but a strong wind has made the wind chill something less than 30 degrees. And as the sun goes down here in Baltimore, it could be a very chilly evening. Duriel Harris, 82, is split to the left, and the tight ends are in close. First down. Woody Bennett makes his cut. He's across the 45 to the 47. Mike Barnes, 63, making the tackle. He may have advanced that ball to the 48-yard line. It will be a second down, 4 coming up after a gain of 6. Some more scores that we have not been able to give you yet. Philadelphia has defeated St. Louis 17-3, so the Eagles have bounced back from their loss to Atlanta a week ago. And speaking of Atlanta, 9 in a row now for the Falcons, beating San Francisco 35-10 and stopping a 3-game win streak for San Francisco. And how about this one? New Orleans Saints, defeated in overtime last week by San Francisco, finally won a game today, their first of the year. They're 1-14. They beat the Jets 21-20. Woody Bennett in trouble. Doesn't go anywhere. May have lost a little bit. Herb Orvis, 88, was there to put the hit on him. Dennis Woodley, as Herb Orvis gets up, checks the ball, see where it is. Yep, I stopped him. That's what I meant to do. And 3rd down and 3 coming up. Anyway, David Woodley has so many things going for him mechanically as a quarterback, and certainly will be looked at with future superstar status. 3rd down 3. Tony Nathan is in now for the Dolphins. 22 in the backfield. David Woodley going for it all. He's got Nat Moore out there. Oh, by Larry Brazil. He'll bring it the other way to the 35, the 40. Brazil still on his feet, finally brought down to the 41. Nat Moore going one way, but there's a flag back where the ball was intercepted. Brazil took it away, got back to the 41, but we may have a pass interference call. Let's see.
I'm sure Brazil is not very happy about that call. I'm sure he's thinking about the call he got last week in the game against Cincinnati, where the Bengals were able to get an interference call right in the last seconds of the game and go on to beat the Colts after they had scored 27 points in the 4th quarter. Looking at that play, I think it was an excellent play by Brazil. He comes in, he makes a fight for the ball, he gets in position, he just beats Nat Moore for the ball, he takes the ball. I really don't see the interference call there. I've got to defend Brazil on that one.
Well, it goes for nothing for Brazil, and the gain is 31 yards for the Miami Dolphins and a first down to the 19-yard line of the Colts.
All right, it's got to be snake bitten.
Fred Wyatt, the referee today. First down on the 19. Cephalo in motion. Play action. Woodley laying it out there for Bennett. Touchdown. Woody Bennett. A perfect pass from David Woodley, and the Miami Dolphins are right back in business. And does Don Shula like that one?
Oh, he does. This is why they're feeling very enthusiastic about next year, even though they're not in the playoffs this year. But this is very reminiscent of the Bob Greasy style. A great play-action call here, faking off to his running back, getting time, getting Bennett open, and it's a touchdown for the Miami Dolphins.
The 11th touchdown pass of the year for Woodley, and that's the first touchdown for Woody Bennett as a Miami Dolphin.
I'll tell you that Woody Bennett is excited. He's just excited to be in that Dolphin lineup there. He's been around a couple of teams, but he's come back to play and is happy to have a home.
Uwe von Schaman with Strock holding and Kayak. And von Schaman does just that. So von Schaman having another fine year, 23 out of 28. And the leading scorer ties the ball game. Let's check that interference call again.
Okay, we could start from the very beginning here. To great coverage by Brazil. He's in position all the way. Both men have an opportunity to get to the ball, and Brazil comes up to winner there.
With 3 minutes, 21 seconds left to go in the first quarter, we've got a tied-up ball game as Don Shula's Dolphins come back behind young Mr. Woodley.
Control 6 to base. Looks like this big old hole in the ground is going to be safe for the night. Over.
So they come out all beat. It's Miller time. Miller time. Time to appreciate the difference between a good beer
When it's time to relax
and a great beer.
One beer stands clear.
Miller High Life.
You got the time. We got the beer. Some Miller time. We got the beer.
Here's an another Radio Shack Christmas gift idea. This year, thrill the kids with our amazing radio control toys. On the track, obstacle course, or off the road. You control all the action with a radio transmitter, drive a race car, or a four-wheeler, command a tank. There's even a robot. Excitement for kids and grown-ups, too. 15 different toys priced $11.95 to $59.95. The amazing radio control toys from Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Here are the principals as Uwe von Schaumann will kick off. Nesby Glasgow, the middleman, the deep man for the Baltimore Colts, and you're seeing it all. Glasgow at the 12, the 20, 25. And Glasgow still on his feet. He gets that ball out to the 43-yard line, where Ed Taylor, number 45, a defensive back, has to bring him down after a 33-yard return by Nesby Glasgow, who has averaged better than 22 yards a return this year. On that last drive, there it is. 80 yards, 7 plays. Carl?
That was a great return by Glasgow. He picked his blockers really well. He made the most of that play. There really wasn't that big of an opening there, but he chose the right path, and he got a nice return, 33-yard kickoff return.
At the 43, Burt Jones and company. Jones whips it. It is caught. Beautiful catch by Ray Butler, the All-American from Southern Cal. The rookie gets down into Miami territory and is jarred to the bounds of the 27 by Glenn Blackwood, number 47. And Ed Taylor, number 45 from the secondary. Ray Butler, an outstanding wide receiver, a 29-yard pickup and a first down for the Colts deep in Miami territory.
I'll tell you, when you get in a game like this, you have the playoffs, 2 games to go in the season, you have to look for a lot of exciting things. One thing you can be enthused about is certainly Burt Jones, and that was a well-thrown pass to Ray Butler. You can see the artistry of Burt Jones and just how he threw that ball in there, but the story is Ray Butler is an excellent receiver, and he's certainly going to be one for the Colts' future.
Back to the running play, and Marvin Sims, a power runner at 6'4", 237 pounds, getting down inside the 25 of the 23. Doug Better, 75. Bob Baumhauer, number 73, on the tackle for the Dolphins. 2 minutes, 42 seconds left to play in the first quarter in this game that's tied at 7. And it will be a second down coming up and 7 yards to go for Mike McCormick's Baltimore Colts. Merle, Harmon, and Carl Eller with you in Baltimore. Delighted to have you with us this afternoon. Draw, Dickey. The play gained a lot the last time, nothing this time. Bob Baumhauer, 73, the nose tackle, said you can get away with it once, but not twice. And so he nails Dickey at the 27, the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down coming up.
Well, the reason that play didn't get so much that time is they had a blitzing linebacker. I think it was Chambers who's coming up the middle there, closed in that hole.
May have lost a little yardage. It's third down, almost 11. Roger Carr splitting to the left. Ray Butler to the right for Burt Jones. Jones with a deep drop being pursued by Baumhauer. Lets her go, and it's incomplete. A.J. Dewey was on the pursuit also. It was intended for Don McCauley, who had come into the backfield in the third down situation. Ernest Rowe had the coverage on him, the linebacker, number 55. The 5-year veteran from Henderson in Arkansas. He's usually in on the passing downs. It is fourth down, and Mickemeyer is coming on.
If you're wondering how Baumgartner plays nose tackle position, got all the way to the outside, that was a stunt by the defensive lineman. The inside defensive end comes to inside, the nose tackle comes around, he has to contain.
Steve Mickemeyer going for a 43-yard effort, and it is Landry holding. 4 out of 6 from this range for Mickemeyer. He can put the Colts in the lead. He's short and way off to the left, and the ball goes over to the Miami Dolphins. So Steve Mickemeyer, who is a graduate of Maryland, nearby Maryland, the leading scorer was 74 points, gets nothing on that effort. The game tied at 7. We've got a timeout, and we'll return in a moment from Baltimore.
RCA wants you to see the right color. Does your television automatically capture all these subtle shades of blue in this ocean of color? ColorTrack 1981 can. With RCA's exclusive detail processor, ColorTrack separates detail from color, refines it, then locks the right color on track. Even colors only subtle shades apart. ColorTrack 1981. RCA is making television better and better. The
This front-wheel drive Plymouth Reliant K Coupe has America's highest 6-passenger mileage, priced at $58.80, with this rich, custom-pleated interior. Equip Reliant the way you want. Automatic transmission, power steering, deluxe wheel covers, white walls, AM radio. Choose the ones you want or take them all for only $65.95. Four-door, $100 additional at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Now Chrysler fights high interest rates with 6% off all new 81 cars. Get $325 to $1,000 direct.
This is Brian Gumbel in New York at Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Broncos who caught the Raiders at 7. Dave Preston from 2 yards out, finishing off an 80-yard drive. They are deadlocked to the second. Let's go back to Baltimore. Merle Harmon.
Thank you, Brian. Big ball game for the Oakland Raiders. Denver Broncos, of course, are out of the playoff picture. This game tied at 7. Mike McCormick losing a tough one last week at Cincinnati, and Don Shula's Dolphins beating New England Monday night in overtime, as David Woodley calmly brought the Dolphins back for a tying touchdown, then led the Dolphins to the field goal range for Von Schaman, who booted it for the winning 3. Woody Bennett breaking 1 tackle, getting a little bit, getting back to the line of scrimmage, I guess. Mike Woods, 59, the linebacker, a 2-year man from Cincinnati, making the stop for the Baltimore Colts. We've got 1:24 to go in the first quarter. The game tied at 6 as Ed Simonelli, the defensive captain who calls the signals, looks to the sideline for an instruction. Duriel Harris, number 82, has come into the Miami offensive unit, and Bruce Hardy is going out. Ronnie Lee is set as the tight end. He is set left. Woodley, 2nd and 10. Draw. Delvin Williams, no hold, trying to go to the outside. Now gets the reverse, looking for a block. Williams makes his cut. Williams runs all over the field, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and maybe a yard before Nesby Glasgow, number 25, makes the tackle on him. And so a great 2nd and 3rd effort, and just simply keeping the feet moving by Delvin Williams turned what could have been about a 5-yard loss into a gain, and is now 3rd down and 7.
That play was well defensed by the Colts. That was Cook up there cutting off the lateral movement by Williams going to the outside, so he had to cut back, and he was very smart by trying to make something out of that play when there was certainly nothing there to get.
Steve Mickemeyer on the sideline for Baltimore, much upset at missing the field goal attempt. Joe Rose, number 80. Nat Moore, 89. Tony Nathan, 22. In, passing down, 3rd down. Let's see what Woodley does. Whistle stopping play. 6 seconds remaining in the quarter, and I believe he got hit with a 30-second clock. I don't believe they got the play underway in time.
I don't think they did. I think whatever he was going to do, he didn't get it done in time.
Delay of the game against the Dolphins will make it 3rd down and 12.
This is one of the common mistakes you'll see young quarterbacks make, especially for a rookie quarterback. However, Woody has been really exceptional as a young quarterback and has not made these type of mistakes.
Delay of the game cost Miami 5. As David Woodley goes into that huddle. David had hit 147 of 257 passes going into this one. Almost 1,500 yards, 57%. Amazing what this young man, how he has progressed in the last 8 ball games. Woodley with time, throwing incomplete. It was intended for Elmer Bailey, number 88, the rookie from Minnesota. Larry Brazil, 47, at the coverage, as Woodley drilled Bailey through the fingertips, and Brazil can breathe a little bit easier. And we have run out of time in the first quarter. So the first period has ended in Baltimore. The Colts have scored first 7. Miami tied them at 7, and we'll be ready for quarter 2 in a moment.
Hey, see y'all down the road, Jack. If you're going to move your family, you can save a lot of money by renting a truck. Moving yourself, and you might as well rent a real truck. A Ryder. Ryder isn't famous for renting cars, beep, beep, little trailers. Ryder's famous for trucks. Pro drivers will tell you that.
Okay, King of the Road. Just hold the lamp.
Ryder, the best truck money can rent.
This bud's for all you guys who keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down. This bud's for you.
This bud's for you.
For all the roads you ride and every place they can take you to.
For all you do.
The king of beers is coming through. Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
You've got it, Art. I'm Pete Conrad in the cockpit of a McDonnell Douglas DC-10. I've talked to DC-10 pilots, and one thing comes through loud and clear. Their confidence in this airplane. And no wonder. The DC-10 proves itself in the air, serving 90 countries, flying 1 million miles a day. The DC-10, one of the most thoroughly tested airliners ever built. I've got it, Art.
Merle Herman and Carl Liller with you from Baltimore, where we're going to the second quarter. The Dolphins and the Colts are tied at 7. It's a chilly day. It is 4th down, 13 coming up. And the Dolphins will punt it away. George Roberts, who came to the Dolphins 5 days before the 78 season opened, has been a tremendous find. That's what he has done today, average-wise, into the wind. Now he's got the wind with him. And he pops it downfield, and Glasgow will let it roll out of bounds. Ball will be marked just outside the 30-yard line. A 46-yard punt, but we've got a flag back at the line of scrimmage. George Roberts, and the penalty is against the Miami Dolphins. George Roberts, with that 42.8 average for the year, 4th highest in the NFL. As I mentioned, the Dolphins got him right before the 78 season started when Larry Seipel and Mike Michael went down with knee injuries. He'd been cut by Washington. Now, on the other side of the coin today, Bragg, who's kicking, the punter for the Baltimore Colts, also was cut by the Washington Redskins after 12 years. So Mike has done a good job over here. Ray Guy,
number 74, downfield, 4th down.
Ray Guy has the highest average right now in the AFC. That penalty was against Cleveland Green, an eligible receiver downfield, or an eligible man downfield, actually. Nesby Glasgow back there again. It is 4th down and 17 this time for George Roberts.
That pass kick with the wind, he did not get the distance that I anticipated. We know he's got the wind. If he gets a little more height on that ball, he'll probably get the wind to carry it, get more distance.
Roberts will kick from about his own 7 or 8. Gets it, getting a roll. It is down on the 38-yard line by Kim Anderson, number 26, and Elmer Bailey, a wide receiver, a fleet-footed youngster from Minnesota, a rookie, makes the tackle. A kick of 43 yards for George Roberts on that one. Timeout in Baltimore. 14 minutes, 43 seconds to play in the first half. Both teams scored in the first quarter, and we are tied at 7.
Plymouth breaks through the mileage barrier. A new front-wheel drive Horizon Miser with advanced electronic fuel control soars to the highest highway gasoline mileage rating ever achieved by any American car. And at a price that dips below $5,300. A great price for the car that climbed to the highest mileage rating of any American car. Horizon Miser at Plymouth. Now Chrysler fights high interest rates with 6% off all new 81 cars. Get $325 to $1,000 direct.
The first electronic football games like these were for only one player.
And run.
But something was missing.
Can I play? Wait your turn.
Then along came head-to-head electronic football by Coleco.
Now we can play at the same time. I'm offense. I'm defense.
With head-to-head, you're really in the game. A power sweep. He fights through for the tackle. You pass. He blitzes. Intercepts.
This is real competition.
Why settle for a one-player game when you can have it all? Play alone, against the computer, or for real competition, play
head-to-head.
Why settle for less?
It's the all-new Osmond Family Christmas Show, starring Donnie and Marie with guests Greg Evigan, Doug Henning, and Peggy Fleming.
Merry Christmas!
Monday.
We have played less than a minute of the second quarter here in Baltimore on a chilly evening, but we've got a red-hot football game going between two tremendous rivals in Miami and Baltimore. Don Shula, as you know, coached here for the Colts, took the Colts to the Super Bowl in Miami, and then in 1970 took over the Dolphins. Curtis Dickey behind Cleveland Sims, but Sims could not block out Glenn Blackwood, rather, number 47. And Blackwood finally runs him out of real estate. Blackwood's brother is on the other side of the field, Lyle Blackwood.
So Curtis Curtis Dickey, his best move was missing that bench over there on the Miami sidelines. It was like a hurdle there. I know he was a sprinter, but that was a hurdler's move, jumping that bench.
Second down 10. I may have said Cleveland Sims. Marvin Sims. Cleveland Franklin. Cleveland Franklin's been shaken up a little bit for Baltimore. Make the draw. Jones going for the dive. Getting complete for Reese McCall, the 6'7", 235-pounder from Auburn. Defense by Glenn Blackwood, the second-year man from Texas. So Reese McCall got his running in for that play.
Yes, he did. He was the deepest receiver that time on that play, going straight down the middle. That's something you don't see very often for a tight end. That's a reminiscence of the Mackey days. I'm having nostalgia fever here today, thinking about the old coats after seeing Lenny Moore here earlier today.
I wonder how Lenny Moore feels watching Curtis Dickey down there. They waited a long time for another Lenny Moore, didn't they?
Oh, they sure did. They'll have. He's doing a good job, but I'll tell you, there'll be a hard time replacing Lenny.
Carr to the right, Butler to the left, and McCauley in the backfield now. Jones whips it for Butler, incomplete. He was covered by number 43, Jeff Allen, the rookie from Cal Davis. And it's now fourth down for the Baltimore Colts, who will have to give up the football as Jeff Allen has done his job and leaves the field. Burt Jones talking to Randy Burke, one of his wide receivers. It's fourth down. Mike Bragg comes on to do the kicking. As we mentioned a moment ago, he was cut by the Washington Redskins after 12 years, and he's averaged almost 30 yards a punt this season. 40 yards a punt. 39-3 to be exact. Nick Giaquinto out of Connecticut, back deep. High hanger, Giaquinto calling for the fair catch and fields it on the 29-yard line of the Dolphins, who are tied with the Colts at 7. As we play just a couple of minutes here in this second quarter, that was a kick of 33 yards, and the Dolphins will take over at the 29 after this.
You see how good you can be with Minolta XG1.
Hey, you want to see some terrific pictures?
Depend on the automatic Minolta XG1 to give you clear, sharp pictures. It does the work. You take the credit.
Yeah, hey, do you want to see some terrific pictures?
No.
That's lovely.
For a limited time, get an XG1 and get a $25 rebate from Minolta. See your dealer now for details.
Ring in the holidays. Ring out the year. Sparkling with Andre. Love and good cheer. Take Andre home for the holidays. Andre for the holidays.
What's a celebration without Andre Champagne to lend sparkle and elegance to your good times? Greet the season and your friends with the best. Andre.
For the holidays and all year long.
This is Brian Dumble in New York at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Lester Hayes has just added to his league-leading interception total, picking one off against Matt Robinson, number 12 of the year for Lester Hayes. That ball game's tied at 7 in the second. Let's go back to Baltimore. Merle Harmon and Carl Ellis.
All right, Brian. And a very interesting ball game going on out there, and we appreciate the update on it. Mike McCormick and Burt Jones. I believe Burt's lost his, does he still got that beard?
He's shaven since we saw him earlier in the season.
Yeah, he cut it off at the wrong time. 29-yard line for David Woodley and the Miami Dolphins. He's 6'2", 196 pounds from LSU. Two tight ends, two wide receivers. Woodley has an all-out selection flag down. He is going for Matt Moore. Incomplete. The coverage by Derek Hatchett, number 42, but a flag was thrown in the offensive backfield.
I'm not sure what that flag was called for, but Woodley was down.
Woodley has an outstanding arm and a quick release. And upstairs to our left here, with an injured shoulder, is Bob Greasy, who in 1967 joined the Dolphins. Well, we've got to
change his mind.
Got a personal foul called against Baltimore. Don Shula said I was right all the time. That's what I was trying to tell you. It was against the other guys. Well, now let's see if we can pick up the call.
All right, that's Vincent, and I'll say what I saw.
Personal foul, number number 72, and Mystery Russell, first down.
Fred Cook, number 72, the defensive end, and Mike McCormick said, now wait just a minute. He said, now Fred gives it an all-out effort with lots of enthusiasm, but he did anything wrong.
Well, that's up until the ball's thrown. You got to let him go, Fred.
Spoken like a former defensive lineman.
I can't say I always practice what I preach.
First down in the 44. Woody Bennett, daylight. Oh, he is tripped up down to the 38-yard line of Baltimore by Nesby Glasgow. Woody Bennett popped through there for a 21-yard gain, really picked up the steam when he got into the open field, and only Glasgow could stop him.
You'll see he's fallen over here by Giesler and Kuchenberg, are the leading blockers there. He breaks the ball open off tackle, and he's just chipped up here by the toenail. That's what you call a real shoestring tackler. He would have been gone had that not been the case.
Tell you, I like Woody Bennett, Carl Eller.
Oh, I'll tell you, he's getting a chance to play, and he's just happy to play. This is the enthusiasm you see of the guy. He really wants to play football. Just 2 games left. They're out of it, but he just wants to play, and you're seeing it here.
Bennett, 8 carries, 50 yards. Play action. Woodley. Oh, incomplete, intended for Delvin Williams. He was wide open.
It was in his arms. He's disappointed about that for sure. That's not something you'll see Delvin do very much.
Delvin has caught passes for 202 yards this year, and Woodley was right on target with that one. You can't do much better than that.
No, you can't. Delvin Williams and Tony Nathan have been splitting their running back assignments. Their two are excellent receivers coming out of the backfield. But that ball was well thrown. I got to say, Woodley put it in there.
Tony Nathan is in now for Miami. Second down, 10. Nat Moore is split to the right. Good rush. Woodley gets it away. It is incomplete. Intended for Nathan coming out of the backfield. Mike Ozdowski, 71, was coming from the right side, putting great pressure on. Woodley got the pass away all right, but incomplete. I think I said Nathan. It was Duriel Harris, number 82.
Okay, Ozdowski, you see, he does a rush from his right end spot coming to the outside. Woodley smartly steps up. The defensive end will go around behind him if he does that. And showing his arm, Woodley outthrows Duriel Harris there just by a couple feet.
It is third down and 10 coming up as Baltimore brings on 5 defensive backs and sends Ed Simonini to the bench. Jimmy Cephalo is in for Miami. He is split to the left. Wide to the right side is Elmer Bailey. 2 tight ends are in. Joe Rose, Ronnie Lee. Woodley lets her fly again. He's got his man. Touchdown! Jimmy Cephalo. Jimmy Cephalo with his first touchdown of the year beat Larry Brazil, number 47. And how about that David Woodley coming right back, going the same pattern with a different receiver, a 37-yard touchdown strike, and Miami takes the lead.
Well, he says, I know the work. All I got to do is just do my part, put the ball on target, and we can get a score here, guys. He says, let's try Cephalo this time, which he does. Cephalo coming from a wide receiver spot, going down, and Duriel Harris has his feet, so does Cephalo, and the ball is right on target. The Dolphins are ahead by 7.
So Don Shula feeling much better about this thing right now as his Dolphins have come back to take the lead and can add another point with Von Schaman, or Von Foot as they call him, the All-American from Oklahoma. In his second year, Strock holding. Von Schaman is right to the middle. 13:50 to go in the first half now as the Dolphins have jumped into a 7-point lead on a 37-yard touchdown pass to Jimmy Cephalo, but we've got a flag on the play and we'll return in a moment.
Alcoa can't wait.
Long before there was an energy crisis, Alcoa developed a window specifically to save energy. Beautifully designed and precisely engineered, it employs welded edge panes of insulating glass in a unique sandwich of pre-painted aluminum, rigid vinyl, and double weather stripping. The Alcoa insulating window, a beautiful energy saver that was ready right when America needed it most.
We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
Hey, a little one-on-one. I had to do some yard work. Want to make a little light? I don't have to do any yard work.
good friends really go at it this hard just for a beer? Well, consider it's Michelob Light. And that means a rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
102 to 98. How did you do it? Defense?
Michelob Light. Compare the taste.
College basketball is off to a flying start as America's most exciting premier point guard Isaiah Thomas and the Hoosiers of Indiana take on the North Carolina Tar Heels Saturday on NBC.
Okay, there is Coach Don Shula there. He just gave his quarterback, Dave Woodley, a pat on the head. And this shows the excellence in a coach when he's giving confidence in his quarterback. They came back, repeated the play and the touchdown. He says, you were right on, try it again. You can do it, and we're counting on you. And he knows that they are, because that's where the Dolphins' future lies, in David Woodley. And he surely showed what he could do there by completing that touchdown pass to Cephalon.
Uwe von Schaumburg will kick off. We had a double foul on the extra point. Greg Fields, number 79 of Baltimore, and Dwight Stevenson, 57 of Miami, were mixing up a little bit, offsetting fouls on unsportsmanlike conduct. So the kickoff will take place from the regular point at the 35-yard line. Von Schaumburg tees it up. Uwe's won 3 ball games this year for Miami with field goals. Field goal department, he's 12 out of 19. Has added 2 extra points today. Nesby Glasgow will be the deep man, and he'll need to be deep because it wins to Von Schaumann's back. He drills the ball right out of the end zone. Baltimore will bring it to the 20, trailing by a score of 14-7 with 13 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the first half here in Baltimore. I'm Merle Harmon with Carl Eller, and we're delighted to have you with us this evening as it is now, as darkness has surrounded us. Well, that touchdown pass by David Woodley deserves another look, Carl.
Well, yes, it does. He's an excellent quarterback. He's a rookie, 8th-round draft choice. He's got a fine arm there, and I think to getting a second chance to try that play again, he got the range. That's what you say, getting that old Kentucky windage.
First down on the Baltimore 20. Burt Jones in motion. And he hits number 80, Ray Butler, the rookie from USC. And a flag was thrown, however, on the 28-yard line. Ed Taylor made the hit after a 12-yard pickup. Ed Taylor, number 45, the left cornerback. So let's see what the latest infraction is all about.
Defense, decline, first down.
I'm not sure what's going on down there, but it's certainly a heated game. These two are tough rivals. It's the first time since 1970 that neither of them have been in the playoffs. They've got a lot to prove to themselves. They certainly have a lot of pride among the players, and they want to finish with a good record here, regardless of what the stakes are.
The Dolphins, or rather the Colts, decline the 5-yard penalty and take the 12-yard gain. Curtis Dickey pops in there across the 35 to the 36. Blackwood, number 47, Glenn Blackwood, the free safety, makes the stop on Curtis Dickey.
You got to admire that Dickey. He just sticks his head right in the hole there. He's not afraid of anything, I'll tell you. He just goes right in there.
Cincinnati and Chicago into overtime. Roland Harper scoring in the 4th quarter to tie that game and send it into OT. Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy are there reporting that one for NBC. 2nd and 8. Out of the backfield, Dickey, first down and more, midfield and out of bounds. At the midfield stripe. So it's a first down for the Baltimore Colts. Small making the tackle. And now let's go into Bryant Gumbel in New York for an update.
Thank you, Merle Harmon. In Chicago, a turnover with just seconds to play has cost the Bears a chance to turn back the Bengals. Vince Evans intercepted by Lewis Breeden. As the clock winds out, that ball game goes to overtime. It's tied at 14. Cincinnati will receive. Merle?
All right, Bryant. After a 13-yard pickup by Dickey to midfield on the pass play, it is first down, Baltimore. They're trailing by 7. Marvin Sims, the bruising fullback from Clemson, into Miami territory and then knocked all the way back into his own territory by Doug Betters, number 75, and Larry Gordon, number 50. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Merle Harmon with Carl Eller in Baltimore at Memorial Stadium, where the Colts scored first in the opening period, and then the Dolphins tied them before it was over, and then a second touchdown pass thrown by David Woodley to Jimmy Cephalo in this period has put Miami into the lead. Now Burt Jones is trying to get something going. Going for the downs for Ray Butler. And the flag is thrown against number 45, Ed Taylor. They got their feet tangled up. Let's see if that's the call.
It'll be very interesting, Burl, to see what happens here. Ed Taylor was in front of Butler there, and Butler just runs up his back. I'm not sure which way they're going to call that.
Well, if it's
no foul, the ball was uncatchable.
All right, I agree with that.
So do I.
That's what I was going to comment on. I mean, you throw a flag when the ball was uncatchable, and I have seen that happen, and I think it was a very wise choice for the official.
Oh, it's definitely a wise call. We're sitting here looking at the play. Both players are trying to get to it. Neither of them can. Butler runs up Taylor's back. He's certainly no intentional foul on his part, and Taylor can't do anything about it.
So, third down coming up.
Doesn't make the Baltimore fans happy, though. They want some of this to go the other way.
No, but I think it's justice is served there.
Yes.
Jones cranks up, and he's going to go for Carr. He's been going for it, and he can't hold the ball at the 5. The first time that he has gone to Carr today, and Carl and I were sitting here a moment ago saying, when's he going to go to Carr? He just did.
We were just saying that, and I'll tell you, but that's Burt Jones. Every time he goes back to throw the ball, he really excites me. He's really a super pass. He just got great motion. He throws a nice spiral ball. You watch, he pumps there, throws a beautiful ball down here to Carr. I got to say that probably the ball was maybe deflected slightly because the defensive end was right there, but Carr normally catches those kinds of excellent thrown ball.
Lockwood and Small were back there. Right now, Mike Bragg will punt it away. Nick Giaquinto is deep for Miami. He's kicking into the wind. Giaquinto from the 13. The former school teacher banging his way up across the 25 to the 27. Pretty good return by Giaquinto, and look what we've got going on. Well, you can almost expect this. We've already had double fouls in situations down at the other end of the field. 33-yard kick and 11-yard return. And the officials call a timeout. Let them cool off. 11:54 to go in the first half, and the Dolphins lead the Colts by 14-7.
Okay, there is Coach Don Shula there. He just gave his quarterback, Dave Woodley, a pat on the head. And this shows the excellence in a coach with giving confidence in his quarterback. They came back, repeated the play, and the touchdown. He says, you were right on. Try it again. You can do it, and we're counting on you. And he knows that they are, because that's where the Dolphins' future lies, in David Woodley. And he surely showed what he could do there by completing that touchdown pass to Cephalo.
Uwe von Schaumann will kick off. We had a double foul on the extra point. Greg Fields, number 79 of Baltimore, and Dwight Stevenson, 57 of Miami, were mixing up a little bit, offsetting fouls on unsportsmanlike conduct. So the kickoff will take place from the regular point at the 35-yard line. Von Schaumann tees it up. Uwe's won 3 ball games this year for Miami with field goals. Field goal department, he's 12 out of 19. Has added 2 extra points today. Nesby Glasgow will be the deep man, and he'll need to be deep because it wins to von Schaumann's back. He drills the ball right out of the end zone. Baltimore will bring it to the 20, trailing by a score of 14-7 with 13 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the first half here in Baltimore. I'm Merle Harmon with Carl Eller, and we're delighted to have you with us this evening, as it is now, as darkness has surrounded us. Well, that touchdown pass by David Woodley deserves another look, Carl.
Well, yes, it does. He's an excellent quarterback. He's a rookie, 8th-round draft choice. He's got a fine arm there, and I think to getting a second chance to try that play again, he got the range. That's what you say, getting that old Kentucky windage.
First down to the Baltimore 20. Burt Jones in motion. And he hits number 80, Ray Butler, the rookie from USC. And a flag was thrown, however, on the 28-yard line. Ed Taylor made the hit after a 12-yard pickup. Ed Taylor, number 45, the left cornerback. So let's see what the latest infraction is all about.
Defense decline. First down.
I I'm not sure what's going on down there, but it's certainly a heated game. These two are tough rivals. It's the first time since 1970 that neither of them have been in the playoffs. They've got a lot to prove to themselves. They certainly have a lot of pride among the players, and they want to finish with a good record here, regardless of what the stakes are.
The Dolphins, or rather the Colts, decline the 5-yard penalty and take the 12-yard gain. Curtis Dickey pops in there across the 35 to the 36. Blackwood, number 47, Glenn Blackwood, the free safety, makes the stop on Curtis Dickey.
You got to admire that Dickey. He just sticks his head right in the hole there. He's not afraid of anything, I'll tell you. He just goes right in there.
Cincinnati and Chicago into overtime. Roland Harper scoring in the fourth quarter to tie that game and send it into OT. Sam Nover and Bob Trumpy are there reporting that one for NBC. Second and 8. Out of the backfield, Dickey, first down and more, midfield and out of bounds. At the midfield stripe. So it's a first down for the Baltimore Colts. Small making the tackle. And now let's go into Bryant Gumbel in New York for an update.
Thank you, Merle Harmon. In Chicago, a turnover with just seconds to play has cost the Bears a chance to turn back the Bengals. Vince Evans intercepted by Louis Breeden. As the clock winds out, that ball game goes to overtime. It's tied at 14. Cincinnati will receive. Merle?
All right, Bryant. After a 13-yard pickup by Dickey to midfield on the pass play, it is first down, Baltimore. They're trailing by 7. Marvin Sims, the bruising fullback from Clemson, into Miami territory and then knocked all the way back into his own territory by Doug Betters, number 75, and Larry Gordon, number 50. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Merle Harmon with Carl Eller in Baltimore at Memorial Stadium, where the Colts scored first in the opening period, and then the Dolphins tied them before it was over, and then a second touchdown pass thrown by David Woodley to Jimmy Cephalo in this period has put Miami into the lead. Now Burt Jones is trying to get something going. Going for the downs for Ray Butler, and the flag is thrown against number 45, Ed Taylor. They got their feet tangled up. Let's see if that's the call.
It'll be very interesting, Merle, to see what happens here. Ed Taylor was in front of Butler there, and Butler just runs up his back. I'm not sure which way they're going to call that.
Well, if it's
no foul, the ball was uncatchable.
All right, I agree with that.
So do I.
That's what I was going to comment on. I mean, you throw a flag when the ball was uncatchable, and I have seen that happen, and I think it was a very wise choice for the official.
Oh, it's definitely a wise call. We're sitting here looking at the play. Both players are trying to get to it. Neither of them can. Butler runs up Taylor's back. He's certainly no intentional foul on his part, and Taylor can't do anything about it.
So, third down coming up.
Doesn't make the Baltimore fans happy, though. They want some of this to go the other way.
No, but I think it's justice is served there.
Yes.
Jones cranks up, and he's going to go for Carr. He's been holding Carr, and he can't hold the ball at the 5. The first time that he has gone to Carr today, and Carl and I were sitting here a moment ago saying, when's he going to go to Carr? He just did.
We were just saying that, and I'll tell you, but that's Burt Jones. Every time he goes back to throw that ball, he really excites me. He's really a super pass. He just got great motion. He throws a nice spiral ball. You watch, he pumps there, throws a beautiful ball down here to Carr. I got to say that probably the ball was maybe deflected slightly because defensive end was right there, but Carr normally catch those kinds of excellent thrown ball.
Blackwood and Small were back there. Right now, Mike Bragg will punt it away. Nick Giaquino is deep for Miami. He's kicking into the wind. Giaquino from the 13. The former school teacher banging his way up across the 25 to the 27. Pretty good return by Giaquino, and look what we've got going on. Well, you can almost expect this. We've already had double fouls in situations down at the other end of the field. 33-yard kick and 11-yard return. And the officials call a timeout. Let them cool off. 11:54 to go in the first half, and the Dolphins lead the Colts by 14-7.
I learned to drive in an old Model T that belonged to my dad. We counted on Pennzoil to take care of the engine. Today, Pennzoil does even more. Because now it saves gasoline. Pennzoil has added gas savings to its regular multi-weight oils. And they've done it at their regular price. So you don't have to spend extra money to get extra miles.
Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile.
Polaroid's SX70 Sonar and Time Zero Super Color, the perfect Christmas combination.
Like egg and nog.
The finest instant camera and the fastest developing color.
Okay.
This gets much closer than any other instant. You view right through the lens. The focus is automatic. And this sharp, bright color comes up in seconds. No other camera does that.
That is close. What other cameras do that?
Name one. Well,
I'm thinking.
You only got till Christmas.
Time Zero.
NBC's going to bowl you over starting December 26th as Arch Leicester leads Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. New Year's Day, it's the Rose Bowl, followed by the primetime pageantry of the Orange Bowl.
11:54 to go in the first half, and Carl, I think we needed that timeout to let everybody cool off down there.
Well, we did. You know, you got two really fine ball clubs down there. They got a lot of pride. They're not in the playoffs, and none of them are happy. They're really disappointed that they can't be in the playoffs, and they're taking out their frustrations on each other.
Which makes for a good ball game.
We certainly have one here.
Mark Dennard moves up over the ball as David Woodley brings the offense to the 28-yard line. Guards are Kuchenberg and Newman. The tackles are Giesler and Laxo. Woody Bennett, 222 pounds, pulling his way near the 30, where Mike Gozdowski, 71, the wide man on that front four of Baltimore on the right side, makes the tackle on Woody Bennett. Gain of 3. It'll be second down 7 for David Woodley. That Baltimore defensive unit had a tough time at Cincinnati last week until the fourth quarter, when the offense took over and put some pressure on Cincinnati's defense for 4 touchdowns. Miami ahead by 7. A little more than 11 minutes to play in the first half. Second down, 7. Woodley, who can run, throws incomplete to Ronnie Lee. 86 is tied in. He was caught 2 touchdown passes this year. Ronnie is a 2-year man from Baylor.
Okay, as we watch this, we'll take a look at Fred Cook there, who's the left defensive end. He goes out, tries to contain, but Dave Woodley gets outside, and he's able to throw the ball. It's a short pass, and Lee can't really hold on to it because the pass is really short.
Okay, 11:04 to go in the first half. We are happy to welcome our good fans in Norfolk, Virginia, who have not been getting the game up till now. There was a telephone problem with the telephone company on the lines, but they have been restored, and we're glad to have you with us, Norfolk. Third down, 7. Woodley whips it to the sideline. He completes it to number 81. Jimmy Cephalo scored a touchdown pass earlier. Derek Hatchett, 42, had the defensive assignment there. Jimmy Cephalo is out of Penn State. Has been an outstanding performer for Miami. Didn't quite get the first down, though. Fourth down, less than a yard. Derek Hatchett, 42, coming up with a play there that prevented Cephalo from getting that first down. And the punting unit is on.
What happens on that is when the play is made close to the stakes, the line officials take the stake away. I'm sure Woody was trying to throw it for the first down, and Cephalo was coming back to the ball. He probably just didn't know where the marker was, would have been taken off the sideline.
George Roberts out of Virginia Tech. 4th highest average in the NFL at 42.8 for the season. Roberts pops it high. Oh, how about this one? Nesby Glasgow is back. And into the end zone, and the ball will come out to the 20. Roberts nailed that one for 63 yards. He got it up there where he wanted it. He had a lot of foot into the ball, and the wind did the rest.
Looked like the blimp.
Timeout in Baltimore. 10:47 to go in the first half. Miami 14, Baltimore 7.
The cheetah, one of the most magnificent species on the face of the earth, is in danger of extinction.
To help prevent that, the San Diego Wild Animal Park was created. But without insurance to protect the people in the park against financial risk, the park itself, along with zoos and similar parks all over the world, might become an endangered species. We're Crum & Forster, working with more than 9,000 agents and brokers, helping ensure the American way of life.
When high interest rates keep America from buying the fuel-efficient cars it needs, it's time to do something about it. Starting now, when you buy a new U.S.-built 81 Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge passenger car on credit, you can deduct 6% from the sticker price, including options, because we think the interest rates are 6% too high. That number will move up or down depending on a significant change in the prime interest rate. Make your best deal, then get $325 to $1,000 direct from Chrysler. We'll help you buy the car you want.
This is Brian Dumble in New York. In Chicago, in overtime, the Bengals have beaten the Bears 4-23 into the extra session. Jim Breach makes good from 29 yards out. Final, Bengals 17, Bears 14. Let's go back to Baltimore.
Thank you, Bryant. And indeed, Jim Breach has made good in Cincinnati after being cut by the Oakland Raiders. Don Shula, Mike McCormick, whose teams are tied for third place in the Eastern Division of the AFC. They've always been very competitive. This is the first time that one of the two teams has not been in the playoff picture since 1970. Curtis Dickey trying to get to the outside is nailed at the 21. Don Besselou, number 46, the strong safety, rolled him down with a body block. Curtis Dickey, tremendous speed, a world-class sprinter. If he gets to the outside on you, see you later. But Don Besselou can move it too.
That was a really interesting play there, Merle. Gordon there, the linebacker, number 50, was up outside, but Curtis Dickey just outran him. He had the flanks, but he couldn't really get the yardage, but he certainly got around the outside linebacker.
Second down, 9. Curtis Dickey is a receiver at the 25. At the 27, fighting for the first down, brought down by Larry Gordon, number 50, the linebacker. Carl, there was a situation. You were talking about Dickey a moment ago, being a sprinter. Some of the criticisms of sprinters in pro football particularly have been that they kind of shy away from contact. They can run straight, but they can't pop you. Well, Dickey, he'll run over you.
He's an exception for sure. The Miami Dolphins know that. He got tackled by 6 or 7. And one guy just isn't going to bring him down.
He got 7 yards on the play. Third down, 2. McCauley, 23. Washington, 20 are in the backfield. And it is completed to Don McCauley, who is the third down specialist as a receiver, and he's got a first down after a gain of 7. Glenn Blackwood, 47, the free safety. Larry Gordon, number 50, the weak side linebacker, made the tackle. So the Colts, who are behind 14-7 with 9 minutes to play in the first half, are starting to move the ball into the wind against the Dolphins.
McCauley there was the third receiver. That was just a drop-off pass there coming out of the backfield. Burt Jones has lots of time on that play.
Sims and Dickey are the setbacks. Jones swings it to Dickey. Dickey at the 40. Dickey nailed just as he crosses the 40-yard line, getting about 6. Ed Taylor, 45. Glenn Blackwood, number 47, are back there to make the stop. They've marked the ball at the 41-yard line. Gain of 5. It'll be second down and 5 for Burt Jones and company. Burt, the number 1 draft choice of the Colts in 1973 out of LSU, comes from the same area, of course, Shreveport, that also produced David Woodley and a guy named Joe Ferguson. And also a young man named Terry Bradshaw. Pretty good company. Look at Dickey try to find just a little bit. And that's all he got. But he got closer to a first down, getting about 3 yards. Rusty Chambers, 51. The middle linebacker, Glenn Blackwood, 47, the free safety, tackling Dickey. It is third down 2 for the Baltimore Colts, who trailed 14-7 with 7 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the first half. Dickey opened the scoring this afternoon on a 38-yard touchdown run to put Baltimore ahead 7-0 in the first quarter. Then Woodley threw a 19-yard touchdown pass to Woody Bennett to tie it before it was over. Then a 37-yarder to Cephalo in this period for the 14-7 lead. with Sims blocking. Dickey trying to get the first down, and he can't do it. That Miami defensive unit, led by Don Veselu, 46, the strong safety, and Larry Gordon, number 50, the linebacker on the right side, stopped the play, and Baltimore will have to give up the football.
What will happen on a situation like that, Merrill's a strong safety, comes up to force a play like that on short yardage. He'll be right up on the line of scrimmage, and that's what Don Veselu did that time, cutting across the line of scrimmage, cutting Curtis Dickey off.
Mike Bragg will punt it for Baltimore. And back deep, Nick Giaquinto for Miami. Into the wind. Giaquinto can run it back at the 20. 25, and gets necktied at about the 26-yard line. Gain a run back of 7 after a 36-yard punt. Next Sunday, it's the final week of the NFL season as NBC Sports carries you all the way to the Super Bowl. Join Bryant Gumbel for all the latest news around the NFL, including a preview of the playoffs, all on NFL 80. Then it's regional action as the Cleveland Browns take on the Cincinnati Bengals, plus other regional games, all here on NBC Sports. Check your listings for the game and time in your area. The Browns losing to Minnesota on the last play of the game today, thrown into a tie in the Central Division with the Houston Oilers.
They'll have a tough time next.
Woodley, Bennett, about 1. Make that Williams. Herb Orvis, 88. Mike Barnes, 63 on the tackle. No, it was Bennett. Woody Bennett, 34, and Delvin Williams, 24. We were talking about Cleveland and Houston, and they are now deadlocked. Cleveland, having lost that game to Minnesota this afternoon, on the last play of the game, Tommy Kramer bringing Minnesota from behind with 4 touchdowns in the final period. And remember, Cincinnati, although in last place, beat Pittsburgh twice this year. And that's why Pittsburgh is where the Steelers are, as far as the playoff picture is concerned. But they're still alive. 2nd and 9 for Woodley. Wide open receiver, Nat Moore, first down on the 40-yard line, maybe the 41. A 14-yard pickup to Nat Moore, the 7-year veteran from Florida. Derek Hatchett, 42, had the coverage on the play.
The interesting thing about Woodley here is that he's giving himself some time. He starts to feel the pressure coming, and he gives himself a little room, moving out of the pocket just a little bit and throwing the ball out to Nat Moore, who's come back to the ball on the sidelines. First down.
Ball officially marked at the 38-yard line. Woodley is 6 out of 13 for 92 yards, 90 yards. Woody Bennett getting a block from Delvin Williams, who was out front, then making the rest of it on his own. Fred Cook, 72, finally got Woody Bennett down, who's been running hard and running well this afternoon. Gain about 5 yards, almost 5. We'll call it 2nd and 5. Fred Cook, the veteran 7-year man from Southern Mississippi, who anchors that line for Baltimore. Uriel Harris, 82, is in. Delvin Williams, I believe, has gone out. He has. Harris splitting wide to the left. Nat Moore wide to the right. 2 tight ends aboard now for Miami. Woody Bennett crashing straight ahead, getting close to the first down. Might be just a little bit short. Herb Orvis, 88, was pulling him down from behind as Woody Bennett put that 6'3", 222-pound machine to work and picked up 4, but he's a little bit shy.
That's a good call on the play like that. 2nd and down is kind of an optional yardage situation where you can either go for the pass or the run, but a quick opening play like that sometimes will break open and get you to really a long gainer.
3rd down 1. I think they're going to bring the chains out. Bennett has 12 carries, 64 yards, so Woody's having a fine afternoon and evening. The Dolphins have that far to go, less than a yard. 14-7 the score. The Dolphins in the lead after going down 7-0 early in the ball game on Dickey's 38-yard touchdown scamper, but then Woodley has thrown touchdown passes to Woody Bennett and Jimmy Cephalo for Miami, and has a 3rd and 1. I really like this kid, Carl.
Oh, so do I. And he would take a note from Bart Starr here in his good old days of the Packers. They would throw the Carl Dell in this situation. We could never stop it as the Vikings.
Delvin Williams bangs for the first down to the 49.
But he had Delvin Williams to get it for him.
Barry Krause, 55, making the tackle. Nesby Glasgow, number 25, up there also. Ball just across the midfield stripe into Baltimore territory. We have 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half now. It's going to be a very interesting finale next week on NBC as we bring you the close of a very exciting regular season with lots of teams still in it. First and 10. On the wing to the left is Hardy. Woodley throwing for Delvin Williams, and he dropped the ball to the 35. Should have had that one. Delvin knows it, too.
Well, Delvin, this is a couple for him today. It's not his best day. That ball was thrown there again. Delvin was in full stride trying to catch that ball and trying to look back at the same time. He was close to the sidelines, so you have a lot of things to keep your mind on while you're trying to catch that ball.
Now Duriel Harris goes out for the Dolphins. 3 minutes, 51 seconds left to play in the first half in Baltimore. David Woodley, he joined us late and have not seen this young man this year. Split the time at LSU. They had a two-quarterback system. Consequently, the scouts, well, just weren't that interested. But the Dolphins were. Woody Bennett tripped up at the 49-yard line. Herb Orvis and Fred Cook are there. And let's see, Woody Bennett at the 49, lost a yard and a half.
Okay, now you watch Cook. He gets up, he beats Lasco there. He gets the penetration, and it's an excellent play by Cook there. It's a off-tackle play, but he beats it before he can get a start.
Bob Kuchenberg was pulling from the left guard spot to lead the blocking. He's in line for an all-pro berth this year. He's had a good year.
He's an excellent guard. Excellent offensive line.
Third down. Moore in motion. Woodley guns it, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Elmer Bailey, the number 4 draft choice out of the University of Minnesota. It's a little bit chilly as Woodley really drilled him, and he couldn't hang on to it. Glasgow, 25. Blackwood, 44. That's Lyle Blackwood. Brother Glenn on the other side of the field. He had the part of the coverage, and Bailey going over to warm his hands up. Fourth down, 11 now for the Dolphins.
If you notice, Bailey had gloves on his hand. Bailey played at Minnesota, which is, you should be familiar with that cold weather. That's one thing we never did. I'm not sure what effect it has on the game or your ability to catch the ball. We never wore them at Minnesota.
Glasgow is deep for the punt from Roberts. George nailed one, a long one, his last shot, and he is going for the corner. He has kicked it out of bounds inside the 15. Good punt by George Roberts. Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's games people play with the finals of the 3-ton tug-of-war, where you'll see the New Orleans firemen battle the steelworkers from Pittsburgh. Then a fun look at the world's shortest pro basketball team, led by Billy Barty, and an inspiring visit with the marathon man, Peter Stedwick, plus much, much more. Are you in that basketball game, Carl, at 6'6" against Billy Barty and those little guys? Huh?
I'm definitely not on the short side, except if I were in the NBA, I would be.
Don Shula's Miami Dolphins have played well this afternoon. First down on the 13 for the Baltimore Colts. Flag is down as Dickey goes through the middle and is short of the 15. Bob Baumhauer, number 73, the 4-year veteran from Alabama, making the stop. Offsides, Miami. 2 minutes, 48 seconds left to play in the first half, and the Dolphins have a 14-7 lead. Burt Jones trying to keep those hands warm. Burt's come back with a good year. He's missed one game because of injuries, but the last 2 years he was out a lot, and the Colts finished last both years. Let's listen.
Encroachment, number 73. First down.
Bob Baumhauer, a little bit too anxious there. Encroachment is the call for 5.
You know, talking about Burt Jones and the Dolphins, he's had excellent success against the Dolphins. I think he's won almost every game he's played against the Dolphins when he's been in there at quarterback.
1st and 5 in the 18. Jones with some time, incomplete. Dickey coming out of the backfield, cutting back across the field, covered by Kim Bokamper, and the pass wasn't thrown that well for Dickey.
Well, he had the time, but the Dolphins had great coverage downfield. That's why he dropped the ball off to Dickey. Dickey was the auxiliary receiver there, being the last man I think Burt Jones could find and throw the ball to, and he kind of threw in the rush.
Oakland has taken a 17-7 lead over the Denver Broncos at the half as Jim Plunkett hit Bob Chandler with an 11-yard touchdown pass with only 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Quarterbacks, what about that Jim Plunkett? He's having another great year.
Dickey trying to get to the outside, spins off the tackler and is drilled out of bounds at about the 23. George Small, number 48, the right cornerback, got him out of bounds. He was hurt in the first Colt game, you might recall. He's a big play man inside the 10-yard line, but they're down the other end of the field right now.
Okay, now you'll watch Dickey. We talk about his speed here. They do the best they can to string the ball carry out, but Dickey still makes a play around the corner there, and Small comes up running him out of bounds after a short gain.
3rd down and 1. We have 2 minutes, 38 seconds to go in the first half. The Colts are down by 7. Sims going for the first down, and he struggles to get it. If he did, Glenn Blackwood tripped him up and got him down. As big Marvin Sims, a power runner at 6'4" and 237 pounds, I think he had one eye on that yard marker and the other eye on Blackwood.
Well, Blackwood certainly ended up in an awkward position there, but he did an effective job.
But he got enough for the first down. 2 minutes, 28 seconds left in the first half. Baltimore down by 7. Will Jones crank up and go long? Remember, he is fighting the wind. And Mike McCormick, as he analyzes the situation on the sideline, might be a little bit apprehensive about an interception, at least at this end of the field. Let's see what Jones does. Here we go. Over the middle, Sims at the 24. A.J. Dewey, the former LSU star, all over him. He's playing a linebacker spot. He also play on the defensive line. We've got a timeout now for the 2-minute warning. And the Miami Dolphins, who came from a 7-0 deficit, have a 14-7 lead with 2 minutes left to play in the first half. And the Colts have the football on the 25. We'll be back.
Maybe these Girl Scouts can't hear the sound of the new Baltimore Harbor, but they're not shut off from all of the excitement and adventure of being part of it. Life is still discovery for them. Hi, I'm Joe Ehrman of the Baltimore Colts, and this is a special troop of Girl Scouts whose members are deaf. They're sponsored by the United Way, but that's not the only United Way agency that's helping these girls. You see, their leader learned sign language in a unique Red Cross program. These volunteers are learning sign language so they can work with the deaf. These people can hear, but they have volunteered a part of their lives to helping people who can't hear. The Red Cross and the Girl Scouts are all part of the United Way philosophy. People helping people, giving a part of your world, and you get back a much richer world in return. And these girls are proof that it works. Thanks to them, the United Way works here. And thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. 2 minutes to play. There's the score. Baltimore scoring in the opening period on a Dickey touchdown run at 38 yards. And then the Dolphins on 2 touchdown passes from Woodley coming back to take the lead. Carol?
Well, we've been talking about the wind factor here, but Burt has really thrown the considerably short passes, which are contrary to what he normally does. He's only gone to Roger Carr once today. Carr can run a number of patterns. He likes an inside pattern, and I'm certain they can get the ball to him.
2nd down, 9. Jones will run it. Baumhauer chasing him, and he slides into second base at about the 32-yard line. Baumhauer covers him immediately. Good move by Burt Jones. Baumhauer 250 pursuing him, and Burt said, hey, I better take the safe spot here. He got about 6, though. 3rd down, 3.
Yes, I think he could have struggled for the first down yards, but when you've had the injuries that Burt Jones has, you don't want to take those chances. I think he very wisely goes down here, You see that he just goes down and not get the first down, but that was a smart move on Bert Jones' part. He wants to play.
3rd and 3. McCauley has the first down. Don McCauley to the 42-yard line. And timeout is called by Bert Jones of the Baltimore Colts as Ernest Roan, number 55, the linebacker from Henderson, Arkansas, makes the tackle. And the clock is stopped with 1:12 seconds to go in the first half. And Baltimore is trailing by 7. Mike McCormick and Bert Jones talk it over with the coaches upstairs. And all right, Carl, you were a defensive ball player, but I'm sure that you had that offense pretty well spelled out, too.
Well,
what are they coming up with?
You have to know, Merle, you have to know what they're thinking, what their strategy is, what they're going to do. You have to be aware of the situation here. Like I said, Bert Jones has gone to the short pass continuously. I'm not sure that win is that big a factor for the mid-range passes. That's to the tight end, or maybe could go to Carr on a square-out pattern or something there. I'm sure they're trying to see what they can do to get the ball down the field and get a field goal or another score before the half ends here.
1:12 to play in the first half, and Baltimore defeated last week by Cincinnati after a wild fourth quarter in which they scored 4 touchdowns, trailing by 7 in this one. Don Shula, big win over the New England Patriots Monday night to further complicate the life of the Patriots, but today they bounced back to beat the Buffalo Bills. The Bills play in San Francisco next week, and the Bills can still win the East if they can beat the 49ers, who were defeated today by Atlanta. And of course, at halftime, you'll hear all about those ball games. Jones being pursued by Bocamper. Oh, what a hit on the 30-yard line on Butler. He's lucky to get up. He really took a pop from Don Besselou, number 46, the strong safety.
He certainly is lucky to get up. I felt that one all the way up here. You see that Jones gets a little pressure here. He starts to run out of the pocket, and he throws the ball on the run. He does an excellent job in getting the ball to Butler, and it's a well-thrown pass. But Butler, you see, has his eye on the ball, and Besselou comes over, really nails him. Ow. Crunch.
Oh, they both got up. Ray Butler, a rookie out of USC. Interesting story there. They're going to make a wide receiver out of Curtis Dickey. They drafted Butler and Dickey, but drafted Dickey, a running back out of Texas A&M, as a wide receiver. But contract squabbles made him late to work, and Butler won the wide receiver job. And lo and behold, Dickey's a running back, and here's Curtis Dickey as a receiver. The flag is down. Dickey into Miami territory. Dickey down to the 38-yard line. The all-purpose back of the Baltimore Colts, a gain of 19 yards. Ernest Roan, 55, made the tackle. Now let's see what the penalty flag is about. Curtis Dickey had carried for 38 yards and a touchdown in the first quarter. Holding against Baltimore. So nullify that one. Let's see if we can pick up the holding.
Okay, we've got Carr here isolated on the replay. He's definitely not in this play. But we'll see what he does here, and I think this is where the penalty is called. Normally, you don't get that type of play, that type of call on a wide receiver.
I think the holding call, though, was on Wade Griffin, number 69, the left tackle. It is second down on the 32-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. Second down and 20. 54 seconds left in the first half for Bert Jones and the Colts.
You know, that Wade Griffin, he's had an outstanding year this year at that offensive tackle spot. He's only been beaten twice all year.
Jones, Joe Washington. Washington spinning back. Was at the 40, will wind up at about the 39 in the arms of Larry Gordon, number 50, the linebacker from Arizona State, who's had a great year. Gordon has had 3 sacks. He was the #1 draft choice in 1976, and he's been a great performer. Jones, no timeout, 3rd down, 13. Jones at the midfield stripe, 2 yards short of a first down. As Randy Burke, 84, gathers it in. Kim Bocamper, 58 on the tackle. 19 seconds left to go in the first half. And finally, Baltimore calls a timeout to stop the clock. Timeout, 4th down and 3 coming up for Baltimore.
Well, they have plenty of timeouts here. They haven't used them. I'm not sure why they didn't use it sooner. They want to get that ball down the field and try to get something going here. They're only behind by 7 points. But that's a big difference here. They haven't been able to move the ball since the first quarter, and I'm sure they want to get 3 points out of this situation if they can. At least 3 points.
4th down and 3, but do you go for it at midfield?
Well, no, you don't go for the field goal, but you got to.
No. I mean, you try to keep possession.
Well, of course, there's only 16 seconds here. Miami really can't do very much. It would take them just about that much time to try to turn over here. You wouldn't want to punt here because you give up every opportunity you have. If you get a first down, maybe it could be a long pass play, then you can bring your kicking team on for a field goal.
What would Bud Grant have done, or would do?
He'd fake it.
Oh, come on. Don Shula has brought his Dolphins to a 500 record at 7-7, as is Mike McCormick of the Baltimore Colts. Building year for Miami. I started to say earlier in the ball game, as we go to the other side of the field, that Miami has done a tremendous rebuilding job without tearing the whole structure of the ball club apart. They're a 500 club. I mean, you go back, Kansas City has rebuilt. They've been on the bottom of the heap for quite a long time, and yet it doesn't look like that Miami is going to have to suffer through that at all. As Don Shula behind David Woodley, and of course he's got Bob Greasy coming back next year. He's got Don Strock at quarterback, but it looks like certainly that Woodley is the quarterback of the future, but I'm sure that Bob Greasy is going to go to camp next year with every intention of winning that job back.
Well, when you say this is a rebuilding year, the big change has been in the offensive line for the Miami Dolphins. You're missing some veterans out, like Larry Little is absent today, but they've certainly done a great job.
4th down 3. Dickey going for the first down, and Curtis, I believe, has that first down. If not, he will be very, very close. Brought down by Rusty Chambers, 51. And we've got 4 seconds left of the first half. Timeout Baltimore to stop the clock. And it is 14-7. Miami on top. And we're down to the final 4 seconds of the first half. You know, you look at both these ball clubs, Carl, and you think they stick to the solid football, kind of conservative maybe, and yet, who knows, with 4 seconds left to play, anything can happen here, huh?
Anything could. They've got a first down here. I don't know what they'll do. They'll probably just throw it up in the end zone, and maybe that prayer and a hope or something. I don't know, but it's a long throw. Burt Jones could probably put it in the end zone, but 4 seconds isn't much time.
Dickey is getting some medical attention on the sideline now, as apparently he was racked up a little bit on the last play. Well, do you suppose he'll really go for it or throw for the interference call and then hope for field position for a field goal try? Remember, he's going into the wind here with 4 seconds left in the first half. Miami ahead by 14-7. Butler splits to the left, Carr to the right. Jones going incomplete. Intended for Joe Washington, and the clock runs out and the first half is over. So we've hit the midway point of this ball game. The Baltimore Colts scoring first on Curtis Dickey's 38-yard touchdown run with 7:16 to go in the first quarter. Then Dennis Woodley throwing a 19-yard touchdown pass to Woody Bennett to tie it up, and then a 37-yarder to Jimmy Cephalo in this quarter with 13:50 to go to give Miami a 7-point lead. Is that a good enough lead?
Oh, that's a good enough lead the way they're playing here today. I think they'll hold on to it if Baltimore doesn't come back and change their strategy here in the second half.
That's the end of the first half. The score, Miami 14, Baltimore 7.
Allstate challenges you. Find your homeowner's insurance policy, then bring it in and compare.
I personally accept Allstate's challenge.
Because all homeowners insurance is not alike. Allstate could show you ways to get more for your money.
Allstate's thrown us a challenge. Keep looking.
Allstate homeowners insurance could give you more value for the money. So find your policy and bring it in.
I found it.
You found it? You're in good hands with Allstate. That's a promise.
Michelob Light for the winning team, okay?
You guys would do that for us?
Would a bunch of guys really go at it this hard just for a beer? Well, consider it's Michelob Light, and that means a rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
You guys never played like that before.
Hey, we never played for a Michelob Light before.
Michelob Light. Compare the taste.
It's the Bob Hope Christmas Special with Lonnie Anderson, Larry Gatlin, the AP College All-Americans, and Loretta Swit. A Christmas surprise from Ho Ho Ho.
Is this part of saving me?
Tuesday.
Miami leading Baltimore by a score of 14-7 at the midway point, and Baltimore came out, Carl, and jumped into the lead in a hurry. The Colts looking like they had a lot of revenge in their hearts after that tough loss at Cincinnati last week, but I really am impressed with Miami.
Well, Miami's looking really well here today, Merrill. What they're doing is they're calling excellent plays. Woody has certainly experienced a good day out there, mixing his plays up real well. The Colts came out with a good run by Dickey, but since then they haven't really done very much. Jones has been throwing the short passes. I'm sure the wind's a factor, but he's got two great receivers there. I think it should go to him.
Well, Woodley had one touchdown pass to Bennett, and the last touchdown pass went to Jimmy Cephalo, and here it is.
Well, we saw him throw that early. He overthrew Harris there just a little bit early, but now he's throwing to Cephalo, and he gets the ball right on the money. And Woodley's got a great arm. You see Cephalo catching the ball right here going into the end zone. Well-thrown ball.
Former Penn State star getting his first touchdown pass of the year, and that's how the Miami Dolphins grabbed the lead and have held on to the lead as we've reached the midway point in this ballgame. Now, as we analyze what must happen in the second half, Baltimore really hasn't, after that first touchdown, really hasn't had much offense going.
No, they haven't. As I was just saying before, Dickey is having really a great day, and Jones has got to get a little more connection with the receivers.
All right, it's a 14-7 ball game. The Colts are leading, and NFL 80s halftime activities will continue in a moment. We'll be back after Merle Herman and Carl Eller at Baltimore's Memorial Stadium, where the Dolphins lead the Colts 14-7. Don Shula's team coming back with 2 touchdowns after Mike McCormick's Colts jumped to a 7-0 first quarter lead as Uwe von Schaman kicks off to Nesby Glasgow of the Colts from the 2. At the 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 44. Nesby Glasgow brought down by Billy Caesar after a return of 44 yards.
That was an excellent run back by Nesby Glasgow, number 25. You'll see he finds an opening here on the left side. He'll find it, and he picks it and gets a nice long return. Glasgow's got great speed as defensive back, and he uses that as a return man.
So great field position for the Baltimore Colts. Set up by that great return at the 44-yard line. McCauley and Dickey are the running backs, and the screen to Carr. Carr across midfield down to the 47-yard line. Larry Gordon, number 50, making the tackle. Wade Griffin, 69, out in front of Carr on that screen. As we look at the game for the first half statistically, and note that the Colts have a bit of the advantage, except they do not have the lead. Carl?
No, they don't. The stats are very evenly matched here. Time of possession, yards gained, and all that, but the Colts are still 7 points behind. They're on the move here now to start second half.
It is a second down, 1. And Dickey will get that on the running play, getting down across the 45 of the 44. And the tackle made by Larry Gordon with help from Baumhauer and Curtis Dickey, who scored on the touchdown run, scored the first touchdown of the afternoon, a 38-yarder, has been an outstanding performer today. 12 carries, 71 yards, and we have an injured Dolphin on the field. And I believe it's Baumhauer, 73, who was shaken up on the last play. The Baltimore Colts, led by Burt Jones out of LSU, David Woodley out of LSU, the rookie who is the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins today. So it's an LSU day. In the backfield with Burt Jones, Marvin Sims, and Curtis Dickey. Don McCauley has been in there. Joe Washington has been in there. Roger Carr and Ray Butler, Randy Burke have been the wide receivers. Reese McCall has been a tight end, and Baumhauer is up and at him again, but he will be going to the sideline. And Rusty Chambers comes on to replace him. Baumhauer, it looks like he's okay now. Baumhauer, of course, had that big block last Monday night. Don Schiller going to check to see if he's okay, and apparently he is. It is a first down. The Baltimore Colts are on the 44-yard line of the Dolphins. Here comes Dewey after him on a blitz, and the pass is incomplete at the 44-yard line. Don McCauley, the intended receiver. Doug Betters had a hand on the ball, I believe. But A.J. Dewey out of LSU was on the blitz, number 77.
Yeah, it looked like they had a screenplay set up there, and Blitz came in and put a little pressure on Burt Jones there, not giving him the time he needed to set up that screen, and he threw it off. I think maybe Betters may have hit it, like you say.
Dewey had moved off the front four to a linebacker spot. All right, at the 44-yard line of the Dolphins, the Colts have a second down 10 and are trailing 14-7 here in the third quarter. They go slot left. And McCauley in motion. Dickey looking for the block. It is not there. He gets maybe a yard. At the 42-yard line, he is brought down. A.J. Dewey over there again with Ernest Roan. A.J. Dewey, by the way, number 77 out of LSU. A.J., as I mentioned a moment ago, was playing on the front lines, member of the front four. And Don Schiller was talking about being short of linebackers. And a sports writer, Chuck Otterson of West Palm Beach, said, why don't you move Dewey back to a linebacker spot? And Don Schiller said, you know, that might not be a bad idea. And he moved him to the linebacker corps. He's been there ever since. Like Don said, he said, hey, we listen to everybody. Third down, 8. Jones incomplete. Something went wrong. Washington in the pattern. Randy Burke had run by, and it was either Washington or Burke. I kind of think it was for Randy Burke, however.
Well, it looked like it was thrown deep enough for Burke. Washington was coming in underneath, but there was a little miscommunications there. I'm not sure who that ball was intended for. Burt Jones, of course, is not happy with it.
Fourth down, 7 coming up now. Mike Bragg drops back to punt for the Baltimore Colts. Nick Giaquino back deep for the Dolphins. Hanger and a fair catch, and Giaquino at the 8. Giaquino, by the way, in fact, we had the game down there, as I recall, Baltimore, and he had a great day, and they had a big day for him at his school. More about that in a moment, though. Right now, a timeout with 13 minutes to go. Miami ahead by 7.
One look, one sip, one taste will tell you this beer is a classic.
I'll try almost anything. So when Mattel Electronics asked me to compare their Intellivision games with Atari, I gave it a try. I compared Atari baseball with Intellivision and found Intellivision played much more like real baseball. Then I compared Atari football with Intellivision. Again, Intellivision played more like the real game. In my opinion, if you try them both, there's only one conclusion you can come to. Intellivision from Mattel Electronics.
College basketball is off to a flying start as America's most exciting premier point guard, Isaiah Thomas and the Hoosiers of Indiana, take on the North Carolina Tar Heels Saturday on NBC.
The Miami Dolphins, who lead by a score of 14-7 of the ball of their own 9. 26 players, third-year pros or younger. Gives you an idea of the youth out there. David Woodley, a rookie from LSU, against an old pro from LSU this afternoon, Burt Jones. Woodley has thrown touchdown passes of 19 and 37 yards today. Delvin Williams up the middle, crossing the 10 to the 12. 47, Larry Brazil is up from the secondary. And Fred Cook, 72, Mike Ozdowski, 71 are also in there on the stop. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Merle Herman and Carl Eller in Baltimore, where the Dolphins have a lead of 7 here in the third quarter with 12:28 to play and a second down 7 coming up. Mark Dennard over the ball. Bob Kuchenberg, Ed Newman the guards. John Giesler, Eric Loxor the tackles for Miami. He wants it all. Nat Moore is out there. Incomplete. Derek Hatchett had the coverage on the play against Nat Moore, the 5'9", 188-pound speedster, but Hatchett can match him in speed. You know, Carl, here in the third quarter, and I think I know what Woodley's thinking, he's got the win, but he won't have it the next quarter. They got to get a touchdown in this period.
Well, they have to use the win while they have it, Merrill, and here this long pass is indicative of what you can do with the win. The pass is a little bit underthrown. Nat Moore has tremendous speed, and he could have gone a little bit more, and the ball led him a little bit.
It is now 3rd down 7 coming up for Miami. 5 defensive backs are on the field now for the Baltimore Colts as Reggie Pinckney, number 37, has come in, and Woody Bennett checking the play with David Woodley. Miami will have to give up the football. Woody Bennett can go nowhere. Mike Barnes, 63. Reggie Pinckney, 37, coming in to make the hit. They lost yardage on the play, and it'll be 4th down and 10. The ball is right back where this series started, as Reggie Pinckney will leave the field, a 4-year veteran from East Carolina.
Reggie Pinckney comes in there at the 5th back. The draw play is an excellent call there, but that back coming in there stuffing up the holes, replacing Simonini at the middle linebacker spot. It cuts off the draw pretty good.
George Roberts, for 5 punts today, is just about on target. He's 42-8 for the year, 42-6 in this game. And Nesby Glasgow's had a couple of real good returns. Is back for the Colts, who should come out of this with good field position. Let's see what Roberts can do with the wind. He just barely got it out of there, and he goes down. No flag, though. Glasgow, fair catch back on the 47-yard line. And that's where the Colts will take over. 11 minutes, 19 seconds to play in the third quarter. A 43-yard kick by George Roberts, and no return by the Baltimore Colts. And with this timeout, Miami has a 14-7 lead, which they gained in the second quarter of the game. We're in the third period, and we'll be right back.
I'm not very good at this, but here.
It's the thrill that you feel when your dreams become real. It's the look in her eyes when she's caught by surprise, like the moment you met that you'll never forget.
Christmas is over.
When you give diamonds, you get so much in return.
Oh, honey.
Make the magic last forever.
I'm looking for a new broker, Phil.
Oh? Why?
I just think I can do better. Who's your broker?
Well, my broker is E.F. Hutton. And E.F. Hutton says...
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Next Sunday, the final week of the NFL season, and remember, NBC will take you all the way to the Super Bowl. Cleveland at Cincinnati, New England at New Orleans, Oakland at New York, and all of these games are very meaningful. Buffalo at San Francisco. There are so many teams still in it. And we'll have full coverage next week on NBC. Baltimore's ball at the 47. Dickey, midfield, 45, 42. I believe he has the first down by a yard. Glenn Blackwood, 47. Larry Gordon, number 50, stop him after an 11-yard gain and a first down.
That's an excellent run by Dickey. And we can hear the hitting all the way up here in the booth. That's a hard-hitting game there. But this Dickey certainly has no fear of sticking his head in there, and he comes with a first down, and Gordon finally makes the stop there. That was a very hard hit there by Gordon.
Curtis Dickey, by the way, is the leading rusher coming into this game at 643 yards. He has a touchdown today, 13 for the year, and he has 85 yards on the ground in this game for 14 carries, including his 38-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Jones looks for Dickey as a receiver. Beaucamper missed him, but Larry Gordon didn't. Larry Gordon was swarming all over him. Glenn Blackwood, 47, coming up to help out also. Scores coming in, third quarter. Oakland still in it all the way, 17-7 over Denver. Jim Plunkett hitting Bob Chandler for the leading touchdown. Detroit over Tampa Bay by 10 points in the third quarter, but it's all over for the Lions because the Minnesota Vikings beat the Cleveland Browns on the last play of the game today, and the Vikings will be the representative of the Central Division of the NFC. Second down, 9 at the 42. Curtis Dickey at the 35. Rusty Chambers, number 51, making the tackle. You know, Burt Jones has 250, let's see, 250 passes. I believe that's the area that he's in without an interception by Miami. And that's remarkable. He had an interception, as I recall, in the game. I believe Ed Taylor intercepted him. He did. Ed Taylor intercepted him in the first game this year at Miami. Jones was at 199 then, and the play didn't go because penalty nullified it. So Jones is still alive. Third down, 3. Dickey. No first down, but he's close. He missed it by a yard. Tackler, Kim Bocamper. Burt Jones, 13 for 24, 123 yards. The fans are calling go, go. Fourth down and 1 coming up.
Well, Burt Jones has certainly had a lot of success against the Dolphins. He's beaten them almost every time he's played them. Looks like he's having a little trouble here today, but he's certainly going to have trouble here if this guy's out of the game. But Burt Jones has got to get a little more going and then continue his successful string against the Miami Dolphins.
So, Burt Jones and Mike McCormick talking over on the sideline. You know, that is really a remarkable statistic when you consider that Jones has thrown 250 passes without an interception against Miami. Here's Dickey, and let's see how he got hurt.
Well, here he goes to a short yardage play, and he's getting up there trying to get all he can do. But he's pulled back here, and that's what does it. Kim Bocamper actually tackles him and pulls him back, and he probably falls on his leg. That's what it looks like.
Fourth down, 1. Jones to the air for the first down. Caught, but is it a first down? It'll be very close. Don McCauley may have it. Gerald Small, 48, was there on the coverage, and McCauley had no chance to run as he had to go down to the ground to take that ball right off the grass.
The other thing, too, is that Gordon was coming there really putting pressure on Jones as soon as he set up. He had to release the ball. McCauley just running out of the backfield, and it looks like they don't have the necessary yardage.
No, I think, let me see, they do have it. They just said move those markers, so it is a first down for Baltimore. Marvin Sims comes out of the Baltimore backfield. Joe Washington is in there along with Don McCauley. Ray Butler is to the left. Roger Carr to the right. Look for Carr. First down. Look for Washington. Washington right up the middle across the 25 to the 23 for a gain of 8. And it'll be second down 2 coming up as the Baltimore Colts are on the march, but they trail by 7. Let's go to Bryant Gumbel for an update in New York.
Thank you, Merle. At Mile High, a turnover has allowed Denver a chance to get back into the ball game. This is Jim Plunkett. He is first intercepted by Bob Nairn, who laterals to Mike Harden, who laterals to Aaron Kyle. In any event, Denver's in business, but trailing 17-7. Merle.
Bryant, they're laddering that ball all over the place. Here's a first down run for Don McCauley inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. Larry Gordon, 50. Don Besselou, 46. The linebacker and strong safety stopped this veteran. Don McCauley, a 10-year man from North Carolina. So now the Miami defense is really going to be tested as Burt Jones has marched the Colts all the way down to the 16-yard line.
This is their best drive of the day, the best series, and they're mixing up with some good running plays in there. Collins is replacing Dickey, but they're certainly having an excellent ground game now.
Jones zips it. McCall, touchdown. Reese McCall. Talk about being on target. Jones drilled Reese McCall, and the Baltimore Colts are back in business with a 16-yard touchdown strike. That was Reese McCall's 5th touchdown of the year.
The ball was really excellently thrown by Burt Jones there. He gets his tight end who goes right down the middle, beating Blackwood. There's safety there, and it's a touchdown for Reese McCall, his 5th of the year. It's a well-thrown ball and a great catch.
Now Mickemeyer for the extra point try. Landry holding for Steve. And we've got a tie ball game. So the Colts have come back here in the third quarter on this march from their own 42-yard line to tie up the ball game. 6:47 left to play in the third period. And we'll return to Baltimore right after this.
Outside, the Canon NP200 may look like any small copier, but inside there's a world of difference, a world of micronics, where 20 copies a minute are not only possible, but made reliable with a microcomputer. Fiber optics precisely defines your image, and a toner projection system gives you clear copies on virtually any paper. Up to 11 by 17. Compact in size and price, the Canon NP200 is definitely worth looking into.
Where are the kids?
Spending the night at Mother's.
We're alone?
Open up and taste the moment. This time, the best is just what you deserve.
It's time for Erlanger. One look, one sip, one taste will tell you this beer is a classic.
When you want to fill your life up to the very brim.
Here's to my mother-in-law.
Come and taste the moment, Erlanger.
On Games People Play, round 4 of the Youth Fitness Pentathlon. Billy Barty basketball and a man who goes the distance in running against all odds. Thursday.
Steve Mickemeyer will kick off for Baltimore. We're tied up at 14 in the third quarter. Don Veselu is back deep for the Miami Dolphins. He had one return of 87 yards, but he won't return this one. It's on the ground at the 30 and return to the 39. And so the Dolphins come out of this in good shape. Rose was on the ball, along with Bill Bennett, number 70. 16-yard touchdown pass to Reese McCall was the, let's see, number 20 this year for Burt Jones. Now the Dolphins, led by rookie Dennis Woodley out of LSU. This team, beg your pardon, David Woodley. So the Dolphins have really responded to David. He got a start in the New Orleans game, did not do well. Then 2 games later he started. He's been in there ever since. And these veterans really like this kid. David Woodley to throw. The ball is deflected by Herb Orvis, number 88. So we are tied at 14, and once again we're going to go to Brian Gummel in New York for an update.
Thank you, Merle Harmon. At Mile High in Denver, the Broncos have pulled to within 3 of the Raiders. Craig Morton, 12-yard strike to his tight end, Riley Odom's. Point after is good. It's 17-14 Raiders in the third. Merle?
All right, Brian, and the pressure continues on Oakland this afternoon. San Diego winning yesterday, taking a half-game lead over Oakland in that Western Division. Second down, 10. Woodley over the middle, incomplete, intended for Woody Bennett coming out of the backfield. David Woodley now is faced with a third down and 10. He is 6 out of 18, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Okay, Woodley is starting to get a little pressure here. You don't see it here, but he throws the ball, and it's incomplete there. But the Colts are starting to move in on him a little bit, and I'm sure he's going to start to feel the pressure here.
Third down, 10. The score tied at 14. 6:32 to go in the third period in Baltimore. Woodley brings Moore in motion to the right, covered by Bruce Laird. Woodley incomplete, a little bit underthrown, intended for Tony Nathan out of the backfield. Again, Woodley getting pressure, but he calmly picked the target, but just underthrew him. So it's 4th down for Miami.
Well, they underthrew him there. He got a little pressure there from a blitzing linebacker, and he had to throw that ball. The man was open, but he was rushed.
7 straight incompletions for Woodley now, who opened this game with 11 consecutive completions. George Roberts will kick it away to Nesby Glasgow of Baltimore. Well, the Baltimore defense, they better snap that ball. They finally do, and Roberts left puts it high. He's got the wind behind him. Glasgow, fair catch and take it on the 22. And that's where the Colts will put the ball in play. A kick of 40 yards. 6 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the third quarter. And here in this third period, the Colts have come back to tie the Dolphins, and again they have the ball.
Welcome to Glove Atari. What's your pleasure? Breakout? Ah, here's something new. Circus Atari.
Cartridges, video chess, football. Cartridge, sir? Fez is here.
We meet again, Fez.
Yes, a little game of Space Invaders, perhaps. What shall we play for?
For fun, of course.
No other company offers you as many different video game cartridges as Atari.
Plymouth breaks through the mileage barrier. A new front-wheel drive Horizon Miser with advanced electronic fuel control soars to the highest highway gasoline mileage rating ever achieved by any American car. And at a price that dips below $5,300. A great price for the car that climbed to the highest mileage rating of any American car. Horizon Miser at Plymouth.
Now Chrysler fights high interest rates with 6% off all new 81 cars. Get $325 to $1,000 direct.
Starting December 26th, NBC is going to bowl you over. First, the Fiesta Bowl with Ohio State taking on Penn State. Then on New Year's Day, 3 of the top 5 teams in the country battle on NBC. First, it's the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. 5th-ranked Michigan faces Washington. Then it's the primetime pageantry of the Orange Bowl, a game that could determine the national championship, as 2nd-ranked Florida State battles Big 8 champion Oklahoma. All that action right here on NBC Sports. And action right now from Baltimore as the Colts, who have tied the Dolphins in this period, now starting from their own 22. McCauley and Dickey are the running backs, and this is Curtis Dickey. And Dickey might have picked up a yard. Did he take a pop from Glenn Blackwood after Chambers, 51, came in to make the initial tackle, and then Glenn Blackwood, 57, came in from the secondary just to make sure Dickey wasn't going to go anyplace else. Burt Jones, LSU veteran quarterback. His counterpart today, David Woodley, a rookie out of LSU. Where do all those good quarterbacks come from in Louisiana? There's Joe Ferguson, there's Terry Bradshaw. They just keep coming, don't they?
They certainly recruit them down there in Louisiana.
2nd down 9 after a gain of 1. Little play action. Jones going to go over the long one. There's Roger Carr. Ball tipped, intercepted by Gerald Small. Back of the 35. Now to midfield. Into Baltimore territory. And inside the 45-yard line. He is down near the 42-yard line as Don McCauley was the man out there. A 22-yard return by Gerald Small, the 3-year man from San Jose State.
Okay, we'll see Carr here, who actually gets open, who beats his man Taylor coming in from the linebacker spot, but Besselou actually tips the ball here, and you'll see Small. The ball goes over Carr's head. Small comes up with the interception, and he returns it back to midfield. It's a nice run back by Small, too.
So Gerald Small puts the Dolphins in a good spot with 5 minutes and 24 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter in a 14 tie. Woodley to Williams, into the middle, across the 40 to the 38. Ed Newman opening the hole for him. Herb Orvis, 88, making the tackle with help from Sanders Shiver. And they mark that ball at the 38-yard line of Baltimore, a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down 6 for the Miami Dolphins, who went behind 7-0 in the 1st quarter when Dickey went 38 yards for a touchdown. Then Woodley threw a 19-yard touchdown pass to Woody Bennett to tie it, and a 37-yarder to Jimmy Cephalo in the 2nd quarter to get the lead, 14-7 at halftime. And then McCall caught a 16-yard touchdown pass over Baltimore. Woody Bennett being pursued. Woody Bennett being thrown for a loss by Mike Ozdowski, 71, and Mike Wood, 59, the linebacker, covered up. So the loss about 2.
Okay, you'll see Ozdowski coming from his right end spot, number 71. Ozdowski is really having an excellent year coming in at about mid-season, and has been starting ever since. Well, he's one of the most improved defensive linemen on that Baltimore Colt team.
Now it is 3rd down 9 coming up for David Woodley. Nick Giaquinto has come into the backfield now for the Miami Dolphins.
This is critical for the Dolphins. They need to score here while they've got the win advantage.
Tony Nathan also in. Giaquinto and Nathan can catch that ball. They release after a block as the pass is thrown incomplete, intended for Bruce Hardy, the tight end. The coverage by Nesby Glass 25. A reckless hitter who last week had a ton of tackles. He had 18 tackles against Cincinnati last week. And it is a 4th down and 9 coming up.
Okay, let's see Nat Moore here, who's being defended by Derek Hatchett. I think this was the intended receiver. Woodley wisely rolls out of the pocket after getting some pressure, but you see Nat Moore's well covered here. And an incomplete.
George Roberts coming in to punt. Nesby Glasgow is deep. And snap. Roberts gets it away anyway. And look what he does with that football. It is knocked back, and did they down it? I believe they downed it about the 1.
I think they did.
Steve Scholl, the linebacker, a 40-yard kick, and you saw Steve down there jumping up and down. So indeed they downed the ball at the 1-yard line, which really puts the Colts in a hole with 3 minutes and 37 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter in this game that is tied at 14. We'll be back in a moment.
Good luck, Joe. Thanks, Mom.
Somebody's going to hire themselves the best little artist this side of the Mississippi.
I hope so.
Spread your wings, fly away. Nothing's all that far.
What you looking for?
My first job. Oh, flight 117.
You're going my way. Come on.
Follow the sunshine. Reach for a star.
I've got a safe place for this. It's only your career, right?
Right.
Feeling that the wind's behind you.
That's me.
Yeah. You want it?
Hey, that's great. You're really good. Anything I can get you?
How about a job down there?
Oh, I think you're going to do just fine. You know how to get downtown? Here.
That's what friendly skies are all about.
Midtown Manhattan, 285 Madison Avenue between 40th and 41st. Take the tunnel.
Yes, ma'am. Fly the friendly skies.
This is Brian Gumbel in New York at Mile High Stadium in Denver. The Raiders have padded their lead over the Broncos. Jim Plunk, a 37-yard hookup with Bob Chandler. The point after has the Raiders 10 points ahead of Denver. Go back to Baltimore and Merle Harmon.
All right, Bryant, certainly Plunkett's having quite a day, isn't he? And so is Bob Chandler now, as he's been on the receiving end of 2 touchdown passes. Carl, I see that Don Shula has appropriated a Minnesota-type coat.
Yes, he has. He started out with a lighter jacket in the first half, and he's gone to a heavier jacket here in the second half. The temperature has really changed here as the course of the game has progressed.
At the 1, Burt Jones and the Colts. Can they get it out of there? Don McCauley, not much on that one. Number 77, A.J. Dewey, and 73, Bob Baumhauer, are in there to close him down. He got a yard, maybe 2 yards. I believe it is 2 yards. 2nd down 8.
Interesting thing about A.J. Dewey, you say he was a defensive lineman, and certainly has the size where he's 6 feet tall, 6 feet 6, about 250 pounds, but he does have the speed and the agility. You won't find many linebackers of his size.
2nd and 8. McCauley again. Doug Betters, 75, put a shoulder into McCauley. Bob Baumhauer, 73, plays right alongside him as the nose tackle. They'll help you out, big guy, if you need it, but Doug Betters at 6'7", 260 didn't need it. Now Mike McCormick ponders the situation. 3rd down and 7, and he is inside his own 5-yard line.
Well, the one thing here, it's a critical situation. We have a little disappointment being expressed by the Baltimore fans, but you've got to be cautious here. You certainly don't want to make a costly turnover at this field position.
And again, Jones is going against the wind right now. Curtis Dickey will not get the 1st down. He got a couple of it, about all.
And that was all on his own.
Indeed it was. 55. Drone, 73, Baumhauer, and a supporting cast. And it's 4th down and 3 for the Baltimore Colts. And Mike Bragg will kick it out of his own end zone. So the Dolphins are going to have good field position out of this. He's kicking into the wind. He gets a pretty good pop, though. Giaquinto will field the ball on the 46, and he gets no return. Randy Burke, 84, a wide receiver, downfield to nail him. A 37-yard kick, and Randy Burke got the tackle. at the 45-yard line of Baltimore. It'll be first down for the Miami Dolphins with 1:41 to go in the third quarter. Carl?
I'll tell you, the Colts are really lucky to get out of that situation after starting on their own one, having to kick the ball from the end zone. They got a good kick into the wind by Bragg there, and excellent coverage by Burke. That was really an excellent turnaround for them.
At the 45, David Woodley. Intended for Woody Bennett coming out of the backfield. Next Saturday, start your day with NFL 80 and host Bryant Gumbel bringing you all the inside news on the climactic final weekend of the regular season, plus a special feature on the sounds of football. Then stay tuned for a unique treatment of the game between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins from the Orange Bowl. Immediately following, it's college basketball as the Indiana Hoosiers meet the North Carolina Tar Heels, all here on NBC Sports. I am sure that when we talk about the special treatment of that game between the Jets and the Dolphins, you are aware that you will watch that game like you're sitting in the stands without announcers. Woodley. Right up the middle, incomplete, and it is intercepted. It is picked up by Nesby Glasgow off the hands of Nat Moore. Glasgow is back to midfield, and Baltimore has the football. There is a flag on the play. Ed Newman made the tackle. There was a flag thrown at the 38-yard line. A 19-yard return by Nesby Glasgow on his 4th interception of the year. And let's see what the flag is about. We would guess clipping. Pretty easy guess on that.
Okay, let's see. Woodley drops back the pass. The ball is a little bit high for Nat Moore here. It's intended. He misses the ball. It's a presence by Glasgow. Being around the ball, that's what to say. You want to be near that ball all the time. You don't know what will happen if it gets deflected.
72. First down.
He got it.
You saw the clip against Fred Cook. And the ball is taken back to the 24, but the Colts have it. Mike McCormick can breathe a little easier. The last time he had possession, he started from the 1. David Woodley is now 9 straight incompletion. He needs to pick up the hot hand. Game tied at 14. Third quarter. Minute 27 to go. McCauley and Dickey are the setbacks. Play action. Jones, no place to go, and down he goes. Flag is whistle blown at the 15-yard line. Kim Bocamper, 58, covered him. He was in the grasp, as they say, and the flag stopped it as Jones took the loss.
Well, he's dropping back here. He starts to roll out, but he can't get out of the pocket. He fakes, but they don't take the fake. And now we have a sack. It's our first sack of the game.
Kim Bocamper said, "You all right?" The loss makes it 2nd and 19. A 9-yard loss. Ray Butler, number 80 to the left. Roger Carr, 81 to the right. Curtis Dickey trying to evade Gordon. Trying to evade anybody. Bitters, he missed him. Dickey runs all over the field to get to the 17-yard line, and he got about 2 yards on the play. Ernest Roan, 55, made the stop. Now let's go to Brian Gumbel for an update.
Thank you, Merle Harmon. At Mile High, the Broncos have pulled within 3 of the Raiders. Craig Morton, looking downfield, gets a great catch from Steve Watson. That gets them close. And then Dave Preston gets the call from 8 yards out. Going over the left side, Preston takes it in. With the point after, the Broncos have pulled within 3. It's 24-21 in the 4th. Merle?
Oh, Bryant, that's a wild one out there, isn't it? All right, thank you, Bryant, for keeping us up to date on that one. That game is still hanging in the balance. We're down to 4 seconds and counting here for the end of the third quarter in Baltimore, and we have reached the end of the third period. So at the end of the third quarter, the score, Miami 14, Baltimore 14. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Tuesday, it's the Bob Hope Christmas Special with Lonnie Anderson, Larry Gatlin, the AP College All-Americans, and Loretta Swit. Followed by the Dean Martin Christmas Special starring Eric Estrada, Andy Gibb, and Beverly Sills. Then it's the Steve Allen Comedy Hour with Larry Wilcox, Anthony Newley, and Steve Lawrence. It's a night of comedy Tuesday on NBC.
You've both worked hard to establish a wonderful way of life. But what if one of you were no longer in the picture? have Total Way of Life coverage from Independent Life. It protects your total lifestyle so that you can go on living in the manner to which you've grown accustomed. When an agent from Independent Life calls, talk to him about Total Way of Life.
It definitely has to be the pure silk. I know, but it's worth it. I've got Capital behind me. And Capital Bank really works for me. That's Capital at work. So is this. Nice. And this. Capital Bank goes beyond ordinary business loans. They provide true inventory and receivable financing. If I have the orders, I've got Capital behind me. Capital Bank works for you.
Tic-tac-toe, weeknights at 7:30.
Merle Herman and Carl Eller, former leader of the Minnesota Viking Purple Gang here in Baltimore. 14-all is the score. And Baltimore has possession with a third down and 17. Burt Jones is 15 for 27, 142 yards and 1 touchdown today. And Curtis Dickey is the leading rusher for Baltimore with 93 yards on 19 carries. Jones with a wind to his back the rest of the way. Being run out of the pocket, and he hits Joe Washington on the 24. Jeff Allen, 43, who is playing the right cornerback spot, had the tackle, and it'll be 4th down and 10.
Okay, this was a long yardage situation here, and I'm certainly Jones now with the wind behind his back wants to go for the long yardage situation. But here we'll see Roger Carr, who misses his foot in a little bit, and Jones can't go to him, so Jones has to go for a shorter pass, and they come up short of a 1st down.
And Glenn Blackwood was right there to cover. Mike Bragg will do the punting now for Baltimore. Giaquino is deep. Giaquino will run it back. He wasn't going to let that ball go. He's got it back across the 35 to the 38, and he got about 3 yards on the return after a 41-yard kick. So we played less than a minute of the 4th quarter. It's all tied at 14. Now let's see if the Miami Dolphins can put it together here in the 4th period.
One of these glasses is Schlitz, and one is Budweiser. Hi, I'm Tommy Bell. During the AFC playoffs, I'll be the referee to find out which beer is preferred, Budweiser or Schlitz, by 100 loyal Bud drinkers on live TV. How many Bud drinkers will pick today's Schlitz? We won't know until the score goes up here, live during the halftime of the AFC playoffs. I'll call it like 100 Bud drinkers tasting. Budweiser versus today's Schlitz in a live taste test.
Me, I take care of myself, here and here. That's why I use Skin Bracer from Menon. It's for men who take care of their skin every day. You have to. Shaving is rough. Skin Bracer tightens your pores. That's the tingle. It refreshes your skin and smooths it. Hey, it's not cologne. It's skin care that feels good. You need that after shaving.
You smell terrific.
Thanks. I needed that.
This holiday, take care of the man who takes care of his skin. Give Skin Bracer gift sets by Menon.
It's the Bob Hope Christmas Special with Lonnie Anderson, Larry Gatlin, the AP College All-Americans, and Loretta Swit. A Christmas surprise from Ho Ho Ho.
Is this part of saving me?
Tuesday.
Do you think there's a lot of pressure on this young man, the rookie from LSU, David Woodley? If he's thinking about pressure, well, he can't have any more than he had last Monday night, Carl, when he brought the Dolphins back.
He did a great job bringing them back, and the Dolphins were an overtime winner. But right now, he's having a tough time.
He goes to Delvin Williams. No hole. Williams goes down. They may mark that at the 37, though. Mike Woods, 59, made the tackle. The ball will be marked on the 37. He was thrown back to about the 33.
Yes, well, to continue on Woodley, he's having a tough time here. He's only had about 6 completions. Most of those were in the first half. He hasn't had one this half. Now he's about 21 attempts with about 6 completions. But some of those have been dropped. Some of those were on target, and they were dropped by the receiver.
And he has thrown for 2 touchdowns today. 12 for the year for David Woodley. 2nd and 12. And a great catch on the 48-yard line with Duriel Harris on the receiving end, and Derek Hatchett was all over him. But Duriel Harris has the 1st down on a gain of 15 yards. And by the way, it was Duriel Harris who caught that touchdown pass, or rather the 54-yard bomb that set up the winning field goal against New England.
Well, you see, you know, Woody is a remarkable, real fine quarterback. Keeps that ball to the last minute. He's getting some pressure, and throws the ball. It was a great reception by Harris there.
Woodley hit Harris with a 54-yard bomb to put the ball on the 5, and then Von Schaman kicked the field goal to beat New England Monday night. Listen to the popping as Woody Bennett goes crashing to the middle, inside the 45 to about the 44. Ed Simonini, number 56, the middle linebacker from Texas A&M, made the stop with help from Herb Orvis, number 88. Interesting contest out there on the field, Carl. Ed Simonini, 56, the middle linebacker, looking at his old pal Mark Dennard, the center of Miami, and they were teammates at Texas A&M.
Yes, but sometimes that gets misplaced here when you're wearing different jerseys.
2nd and 5. Nathan is now in the backfield for Miami. The tight ends stay in. Woody Bennett. Bennett inside the 35 to the 32, and of the first down, Nesby Glasgow had to stop him. Woody Bennett has had a great day, 11 yards on that one.
Okay, this is what Bennett would say. He's just decided to be in there playing, but he gets a great hole here. Kuchenberg leading the way, and it's a great quick opening play. He breaks through there, beats the linebackers, and is in the defensive backfield. And gets a nice 11-yard gain and another first down for the Dolphins.
The longest gain that he had from scrimmage prior to this ball game was 6. An ex-New York Jet. Played in the same backfield at Miami University with Otis Anderson. 17 carries, 74 yards for Woody Bennett. Woodley, pump, going to go along to the far side. Durrell Harris is the intended receiver. Nesby Glasgow had the coverage on the play. So David Woodley throwing to Harris, but incomplete.
Well, while we talk about the hitting here in the competition this game, and we wonder why, we're getting excellent coverage. We're getting great hitting here. See, Derek Hatchett is really covering these guys. But what happens, you get these guys, they have a lot to fight for. This is a hard-hitting game, and you certainly hear the sounds up here in the booth.
It is 2nd down 10. Don Shula has sent Bruce Hardy into the lineup at tight end. 2nd and 10. Intended for Hardy, covered by Bruce Laird, the strong safety. Bruce Hardy says, Mr. Official, I think Laird may have interfered with me there. And Woodley took a pretty good pop, but he's up and at him. Talked to Bob Greasy a few minutes ago at halftime. He's up here in the press box area today. I said, hey, Bob, you got the best seat in the house this afternoon. He said, I'll tell you where I'd rather be. I'd rather be right down on that field, right down there in the heat of the action. 3rd down 10 from the 32-yard line of Baltimore. Cephalo and Rose are now in. Pinckney has come in for Baltimore. 5 defensive backs on the field. 3rd and 10. Score tied at 14. 4th quarter. Harris, first down. Duriel Harris near the 20-yard line. Sanders Shiver, 54, the linebacker, making the stop. The ball is marked just outside the 20. A gain of 12 and a first down.
Okay, Woody has been throwing the ball well on most occasions. Today he throws the ball right on target. He's got a good drop. He sits in the pocket, hits Harris right here in the numbers. Complete for first down. Cyrus coming over making the tackle.
You know, you mentioned, Carl, even though that David Woodley had the string of incompletions, I believe it reached 9, as we see Ronnie Lee coming into the ball game of the play. But even though he had those incompletions, you mentioned something very important. He's been right on target on some passes today that have been dropped.
Well, at least about 3 of them.
Woody Bennett into the middle, inside the 20 to the 17. Getting 3 on the play. Mike Ozdowski, 71, the defensive right end, who is a very fine defender against the run, and there he is. Makes the tackle after a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down 7. Mike Ozdowski out of Virginia, a 3-year man at 6'5", 247 pounds. Dariel Harris has just come in. Tony Nathan has gone out for Miami as Harris brings the play in. We're tied at 14, 9:37 to play in this game in Baltimore. These teams are tied for third place in the Eastern Division. 2nd and 7. Ball knocked away by Fred Cook.
That adds to the incomplete.
So Fred Cook got a hand in the air to knock it down. He anchors that line. He had a little slump earlier in the year, but he's come back strong in the last couple of games.
Yes, Cook had an excellent year last year. He's not having the type of year this year I'm sure he'd like to have. But here you see he jumps up. This is what a defensive lineman does. If he can't get the penetration he needs, he wants to get up in the view of the throwing quarterback so he can block his vision. And he gets his hands up and he knocks the ball down.
3rd down 7. Jimmy Cephalo splits to the right. Duriel Harris to the left. Nat Moore in the slot left. Moore goes in motion. Incomplete. A big rush put on. Nat Moore was the intended receiver. And the Colt defensive line put on a very good rush. And it's 4th down and 7 for Miami. And Bon Shaman comes on the field. Uwe kicked a field goal Monday night to beat the New England Patriots. So now Don Shula has the confidence that this long-range kicker can do it again as he tucks over the last series with his rookie quarterback. The ball held in the 25, a 35-yard effort. The distance is good and the field goal is good, and Miami takes a 3-point lead. Ball officially marked in the 24, making it a 34-yard field goal, and Miami is on top by 3 with 9:15 left to play.
This front-wheel drive Plymouth Reliant K Coupe has America's highest 6-passenger mileage, priced at $58.80, with this rich, custom-pleated interior. Equip Reliant the way you want. Automatic transmission, power steering, deluxe wheel covers, white walls, AM radio. Choose the ones you want or take them all for only $65.95. 4-door, $100 additional at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Now Chrysler fights high interest rates with 6% off all new 81 cars. Get $325 to $1,000 direct.
On my weekly New York television show, I advise people on the best restaurants, gourmet food, and fine wine. Of course, advising about wine can be difficult. But a wine I confidently recommend is Hearty Burgundy from Ernest and Giulio Gallo. A delightful wine with a most enjoyable taste. The truth is, the more you know about wine, the more you appreciate Gallo.
Hearty Burgundy from the winery of Ernest and Giulio Gallo.
Those kickers are worth their weight in gold, or worth the gold they get anyway.
Well, they get a lot of it, you know. With that game just past Monday night, that overtime was set up by Baumgartner, who was the nose tackle there who blocked that extra point.
And then Bon Shaman kicked the field goal, and he just kicked another one to put Miami into the lead, 17-14. He's kicking into the wind, and Glasgow from the 7 is at the 20 and still going. Good return by Nesby Glasgow out to the 32-yard line.
He thought he was gone there for a minute, and a hand came out from nowhere and ended that return.
Jeff Allen tripped him up, but he still sped by him and broke the arm tackle and got about 7 more yards. Let's see if he bumped into one of his own people.
Well, I don't know. It looked like he had lots of room there. He's picking an opening there. You see, he's breaking for it here, and it looks like he's got room to go. It does. It does. It's one of his own men that hits him, and I know that was a shocked look on his face. Where does the guy come from?
Ray Donaldson was a blocker for him. At the 32, Jones ready to go airborne. Right over the middle. Flags are thrown all over the place. Only about 5 of them. McCauley caught the ball, and Chambers, 51, the middle linebacker, was right on top of Don McCauley, holding against Baltimore. There can't be any doubt about that. Nobody had any flags left. They all went down.
They all went down. The play that we saw here was McCauley McCauley coming out of the backfield, what they call a middle screen. It's a very difficult play to set up. You want to get the defensive line to come in and get penetration, and the back just sort of floats through or sneaks up past the line of scrimmage, and it's you got to excuse these guys for holding on that. They shouldn't, but it's a difficult play to run.
Jeff Hart guilty of the holding call. George Coons is now in the ball game for the Baltimore Colts. This is his first action since way back when. There's George, former colleague in the NBC booth. First down, 20. Jones zips it over the middle, incomplete. That was intended for Curtis Dickey, who was coming out of the backfield, and Rusty Chambers had the coverage in that area. Jeff Hart is playing the left tackle. George Coons the right tackle. Wade Griffin is out of the ball game right now for the Baltimore Colts on that front line. As we check in with the Miami secondary, Don Besselou, Rusty Chambers. Miami leading 17-14, 8:57 to play in this game.
Well, it's getting to be very close here. Baltimore has to win now. That's certainly what they want, and they've got a long way to go, but they've got to win behind them to do it.
Ray Butler to the right, Roger Carr to the left. Jones, the screen, and McCauley dropped the football. He had Robert Pratt in front of him. Pratt, one of the finest blocking guards in the league, and McCauley just simply dropped the ball. Where was Jones going? I think he lost it down there somewhere.
I don't know. I'm sure he's disappointed. There's something very strange going on here today, Merle. We're seeing sides on both sides drop the ball here, and I don't know if it's the cold weather. It's certainly not the type of weather you have in Minnesota, and I don't see that the weather should be bothered today, but we've had a lot of drop balls here today.
A.J. Dewey was coming on the last play. He was looking Jones right in the eye. It is third down, 20 at the 22 of Baltimore. Jones going for Carr, incomplete, and broken up by number 47, Glenn Blackwood. So Roger Carr having his finest season, intended receiver Glenn Blackwood, who was not even drafted, broke that play up.
Carr had a lot of company on that play. Not only was Blackwood there, but Besselou was there also, and also Gerald Small there coming over from the other side. He had a lot of company on that, and Bert Jones threw it into a crowd.
Mike Bragg will kick for Baltimore. Nick Giaquinto will be back deep for the reception. I mentioned Giaquinto had a real good day, and his former students where he taught school had a big day for him. Fair catch called for and taken by Glenn Blackwood. And the Dolphins have good field position coming out of this one, but going into the wind. A kick of only 32 yards. That's one way to keep warm on a chilly day in Baltimore in December. As long as there's a smile there, that warm smile kind of heats things up, huh? 46-yard line. Beautiful Baltimore. 46-yard line, Miami territory. Over the ball is Mark Dennard, Kuchenberg and Newman the guards, Giesler and Luxo the tackles. Here we go. Woody Bennett trying to go airborne. The initial hit by Mike Barnes, number 63, and Mike Ozdowski came in to make sure that Bennett wasn't going to take off. You know, back to David Woodley, and we've talked a lot about him today. I'm just amazed as this young man operates this Miami football team for the 9th consecutive week. His poise, Carl, that's a thing that I think is astounding.
Well, the thing, you mentioned the way he came in, being an 8th draft choice, not really a lot of hope. I'm sure he came in there with a lot of admiration for the guy he followed. That was Bob Greasy. And you can certainly see some influence that Bob Greasy has had on young David Woodley.
Second down, 9. Woodley can scramble. He's got an open field. And he runs out of bounds at the 41-yard line of the Colts, and he's got a first down. David Woodley can do what Bob Greasy could do about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. He could scramble, and he did for 12.
Now, you're going to see something here that really makes defensive linemen mad. Not only do they get him in and they chase him out of the pocket, but they have to run him all over the field. And here he takes off to the sideline, and you see Orris there taking off after him, and he goes out of bounds.
Sanders Shiver was coming over and saying, hey, quit running like a halfback. You see him tuck that ball under his arm?
I can't blame Woodley for that.
No. First down, 41-yard line of Baltimore. 17-14, Miami. 7:49 to play. Tony Nathan. 30 at the 29. Ed Newman, the right guard, pulled to lead the blocking. Nesby Glasgow, 25, made the tackle as Nathan picks up another first down for Miami. John Brody and Don Crickey are seeing a good ball game today out in Denver. Denver has scored on a Dave Preston 9-yard touchdown run. Oakland is leading by 3 in that one. And Detroit running over Tampa Bay 27-14. It's a little bit late, though. Ray Williams exciting the crowd with a 91-yard kickoff return a moment ago for Detroit, but the Detroit Lions are out of it. The Minnesota Vikings will be the representative of the Central Division of the NFC after beating Cleveland on the last play of the game today. Tony Nathan. Ed Simonini nails him at the 27. That hole opened, and all of a sudden there was Simonini, the middle linebacker, on Tony Nathan, who has rushed 474 yards this year, but been basically a pass receiver. 549 yards and 5 touchdowns.
I'll tell you, Simonini really hit him there, and you know, you really want nobody these guys to play so hard. I want to touch on that just for a minute. You know, this is when the pure ball player comes out. These guys are not playing for the playoffs. They're playing really because they are real professionals and they love the game. And that's what you're seeing out here today, the real enthusiasm of these guys playing in these conditions.
From the 27, second down, Miami. Play action. The fake to Bennett. Woodley throwing, Nat Moore, touchdown. How about that one? A perfect executed pass pattern and play, and look at Don Schiller's response, and look at this affection for David Woodley as he comes to the sideline, and Nat Moore will get his share also. That's his 7th touchdown reception of the year, just like the coach drew it on the board.
I'm sure Schiller is very happy about this. Here's another good thing about the way this ball is thrown. Not only is it a well-thrown ball, but Nat Moore's not that closely covered. When the ball is thrown down, had he been covered, he still could have made a reception right at the end zone line and had a touchdown.
So the extra point try by Von Schaman. Bang, right through there. 6 minutes, 13 seconds remaining to be played in this game. And the Miami Dolphins have taken a 10-point lead as David Woodley is thrown for 3 touchdown passes this afternoon.
You give a man a couple of days to himself and a Black & Decker workmate, and there's almost nothing he can't do. You can pound on it, saw on it, hammer on it, and sand on it. The sturdy vice jaws do the holding for you. You can clamp on it, paint on it, cut a shape on it, drive a screw on it. There's almost nothing you can't do. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
When high interest rates keep America from buying the fuel-efficient cars it needs, it's time to do something about it. Starting now, when you buy a new U.S.-built 81 Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge passenger car on credit, you can deduct 6% from the sticker price, including options, because we think the interest rates are 6% too high. That number will move up or down depending on a significant change in the prime interest rate. Make your best deal, then get $325 to $1,000 direct from Chrysler. We'll help you buy the car you want.
Next Saturday, start your day with NFL 80 and host Bryant Gumbel bringing you all the inside news on the climactic final weekend of the regular season, plus a special feature on the sounds of football. Then stay tuned for a unique treatment of the game between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins for the Orange Bowl immediately following. And it'll be college basketball. Indiana Hoosiers meeting the North Carolina Tar Heels right after the football game next Saturday, all on NBC. Barry Krause. No, I guess it was Hart. Jeff Hart, I thought it was. Jeff Hart, a big lineman getting a chance to run the football and got it back to the 44-yard line.
That was a good return by Hart. I'm sure he's got to add a little excitement to his season. He can say, I returned the kickoff here this year.
After sometime in January, he'll talk to Mike McCormick and say, Coach, how about putting me in the backfield? Colts are down by 10. 6:04 to play in the game. Jones with a wind to his back, looking for Butler. He's down there. Ray Butler cannot get it. Is knocked away by Ed Taylor, number 45.
defense there by Taylor. Butler's was out there, but Taylor was there to cover. You know, we've seen Burt Jones here. We know what he can do. He can put the points on the board. Last week he scored 27 points in the fourth quarter. Here he goes for the big strike again, trying to hit Butler down. The ball is a little bit short, but Taylor's right there to cover it, knocking the ball down. Excuse me, had Butler not been able to come back for the ball, or had he not had to come back for the ball, they may have had a touchdown there.
It's a second down on the 43-yard line off Baltimore. Jones going up the middle, incomplete. Butler coming from the other side this time, but way overthrown. Gerald Small had the coverage. Mike McCormick seeing his team come back to tie the game 14-all by the end of the third quarter. Now Von Schaman has a 34-yard field goal. David Woodley hit Nat Moore with a 27-yard touchdown strike to build the lead to 10 points with 5 minutes and 52 seconds left to play. Nat Moore's touchdown, by the way, was the 46th of his career, which builds to his own Dolphin record. Carr goes to the left, Butler to the right. Jones, ball deflected. Throwing over the middle, he had Randy Burt and Joe Washington over the middle, and it's now 4th down and 10.
You also had a lot of pressure on that pass there, too. I'm not sure that his hand wasn't hit as he tried to throw the ball.
4th down. Mike Bragg will punt it away for the Baltimore Colts. Bragg, a 38-yard average for 8 punts today. Popped a 59-yard earlier. Nick Giaquinto is deep for the Dolphins. Fair catch called for, taken with a short man, and this time it was Glenn Blackwood who was up there short. So the Dolphins take over the football with 5 minutes and 42 seconds left. Make that a 31-yard kick by Mike Bragg, not too much distance, and so the Colts come out with the ball at their own 26. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Baltimore Colts and the National Football League is prohibited. So David Woodley, who has performed like a veteran, and he is becoming a veteran in a hurry. 9 consecutive starts this year.
You know, you talk about this being a rebuilding year, but anytime you can finish over 500, which looks like they may do it here with the experience they got, it's a great year.
David Woodley, Woody Bennett. Bennett across the 30 to the 33. Mike Woods, number 59, the linebacker, made the tackle on Woody Bennett, who's having an outstanding day for the Miami Dolphins, and he is shaken up on that one, however. Woody Bennett, at 222 pounds, has given the Dolphins that big fullback they have not had since Larry Zonka. Today, 20 carries, 84 yards. Clock is stopped with 5 minutes, 27 seconds left to play in this game, and Miami leading by 10. New England defeating Buffalo today, but Buffalo is still in it and can be the Eastern. Oakland over Denver 20 by 3 in the fourth quarter. A wild game out there. Jim Plunkett has thrown a couple of touchdown passes. Detroit leading Tampa Bay, but Detroit is out of it as the Minnesota Vikings, by beating the Cleveland Browns, will represent the NFC's Eastern Division in the playoffs. And Don Shula hoping that his team can now work the clock. David Woodley has thrown for 3 touchdown passes this afternoon, and Woodley has won matchups against Joe Ferguson of Buffalo, Vince Ferragamo of the Los Angeles Rams, Steve DeBerg of San Francisco, and Matt Cavanaugh of New England. That's pretty good company, Carl Eller, when you beat quarterbacks like that.
That sure is. When you can go up against guys like that, you're certainly cutting out the mark for yourself.
They still can't believe Woodley's performance against the Rams. He was sensational. He is 9 for 28, not a good percentage today, 144 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 10-point lead. You can't knock that.
Not at all.
Second down, 3. Tony Nathan just keeps plugging away until he's got the first down and more, all the way out to the 43-yard line before Nesby Glasgow 25 and Sander Shiver 54 make the stop on Tony Nathan. So Nathan gets the first down with a 10-yard strike. We'd like to welcome those viewers that have just joined us. Our game here in Baltimore between the Colts and the Miami Dolphins is now in the fourth quarter. 4 minutes, 22 seconds left to play. Merle Herman and Carl are here. David Woodley has thrown for 3 touchdowns today for the Dolphins. Nathan goes nowhere on that one, stopped by Mike Barnes. Disney's Wonderful World, from all of us to all of you, will be seen immediately following the conclusion of NBC football coverage over most of these stations, except for most Mountain and Pacific time zone stations, where it will be seen at its regular time.
Okay, we have another flag down on the field. I don't know what the altercation is, but I'll tell you, this is a hard-hitting game. I don't know if it's the weather that's making these pads sound the way they are, but we're certainly getting an awful lot of sounds up here in the booth.
Number 60.
Face mask against Mike Barnes, number 63. It's a first down for the Dolphins, who lead 24-14. There's Mike Barnes, who's always had great days against the Dolphins. He played his football at Miami University. The Dolphins grabbed the lead, or rather the Colts grabbed the lead on a Curtis Dickey 38-yard touchdown pass, and then Miami went to work. We'll tell you about it in a moment, how they did their scoring. Tony Nathan again as they control the ball and control the clock as Nathan goes to the 49-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. 3:58 left to play in this game. There it is. The Oakland Raiders have beaten Denver, Oakland, and San Diego State tied in the West. Let's see. Oakland winning it by 3, and Jim Plunkett had 2 touchdown passes, 2 big ones today, to Bob Chandler. And the Oakland Raiders have won it by 24-21.
That's a tough race out there in that AFC West. San Diego had a great year.
Second down, 6. Dolphins shift the tight end to a wing-back spot. Tony Nathan getting the extra blocking. Flag is down as he goes to the 46-yard line. Sander Shiver making the stop. After Dickey scored for Baltimore in the early minutes of the game, and we've got a holding call against Miami. Woodley hit Bennett on a 19-yard pass, then Cephalo on a 37-yarder, and Miami led at halftime 14-7. Then Reese McCall tied the game with a 16-yard reception from Burt Jones in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Uwe von Schauman's 34-yard field goal and Woodley's 27-yard strike to Nat Moore are responsible for the 10-yard lead for the Miami Dolphins. And we have 3:14 left to play.
One thing Miami has done, let's listen.
Holding, number 68.
They have controlled the clock here. They have used up the time in that last drive going in to score another touchdown, giving them a 10-point lead. But they've certainly used up the clock here. And they've had the win at their disadvantage, but they're certainly keeping the ball away from Baltimore coach.
Holding call was on Ed Loxo. He's a great pass protector, but he got caught that time on the running play. Third down, 15. Second down, 15. Nathan trying to get a lot of it back, loses the football. And the Colts say, we've got it, and they do have it. At the 47-yard line. I believe that's the first fumble today.
That is the first fumble today. Maybe we could have the start of something. It's kind of late in the game, but we know what Burt Jones can do if they get a hot hand. Last week, the interception by Brazil started off and turned it around with the 27-point fourth quarter. They only need 10 points. They've got 3 minutes to do it. That's a couple of scores to tie the ball game up or 2 touchdowns to win.
Fred Cook, number 72, winds up on the football. And so Burt Jones and company come aboard. He is 16 for 33, 149 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And he has missed on his last 6. He's looking for Carr.
He's going to get this one.
And the ball tipped 3 times and picked off by Ed Taylor, number 45. Taylor brings it back for the Dolphins down into Colt territory. And finally the ball is marked down on the 38-yard line of Baltimore. A 43-yard return by Ed Taylor with his first interception of the year and the first interception that Jones has thrown in some 260-odd passes against Miami.
I can't believe that play. That ball looked like it was right on target. There was coverage in there, but the ball was tipped, and they come with an interception. Here Jones goes back. He rifles the ball. The ball just like it's right on target, as I said. It's going in there. It's tipped up, bounced once by one Miami player. It's tipped again. Here Taylor finally comes up with the ball, and wow, what a play.
First it was Blackwood, then it was Bessalou, and Taylor out of Memphis State grabbed it off. He had an interception against Burt Jones in the game down in Miami, but it was nullified by a penalty. So finally, Burt Jones is stopped by the Miami Dolphins secondary. First down. Steve Howell, who's down at fullback, almost lost that ball. Mike Woods, 59, made the hit on him. Steve Howell started the first 7 games of the year, but Woody Bennett has moved in and kind of taken over there at fullback. At the 41-yard line, the loss 3, second down 13.
I'll tell you, this has really not been a good year for the Colts, certainly not what they expected. They've had a lot of bad luck, a lot of turnarounds, and really tough situations here. Burt Jones comes in looking to get his team back on the scoreboard, back into the game, and hands the ball over to the Dolphins on a big interception by Taylor.
Nat Moore, who caught a lot of Bob Greasy passes, talking to David Woodley as they go to the sideline. We're 2 minutes and 33 seconds away from the end of the ball game. Burt Jones, like Woodley out of LSU, seeing a youngster who is performing so brilliantly this afternoon, throwing 3 touchdown passes, and the quarterback of the future for the Miami Dolphins, and Don Shula has to be extremely pleased with the way Woodley has played not only today, but throughout the season.
You know, I'll tell you what, the Baltimore had a lot of hope on their season this year. Burt Jones has been the catalyst for this ball club. He came back starting the season very healthy, and they had big plans for the Baltimore Colts team this year. He's played all season, only missing 1 game, but he's certainly not having the better hand here today. And Woodley, coming from LSU, as you say, is having really a fine day.
Roger Carr talking to Mike McCormick about the patterns, and Nat Moore and Woodley and Don Shula conversing on the sideline. They've got the ball in the 41 of Baltimore, 2 minutes 33 seconds to play, and Miami holding a 10-point lead. Our spotters today, Ron Thomas and Charles Kalani, and our statistician, John Schneider. Thank you, gentlemen. Miami's ball on the 41 of Baltimore. Mark Dennard up over the ball as calm and cool and quiet David Woodley. Those stats aren't impressive, but the 3 touchdowns are, aren't they?
They are.
Reverse, Nathan. Flags down, Nathan to the 35. Bruce Laird, number 40, the strong safety, making the tackle on Tony Nathan, the second-year man from Alabama.
We'll see what the call is here. Holding Miami offense. Bruce Laird's the first time I heard from him today. He's normally in on a lot of the action.
Don Shula, even with a 10-point lead with 2:27 showing on the clock, shows a lot of concern, as any coach would. Here's the call. Uh-oh. Fred forgot to push his button. So we don't know who the guilty party was.
We don't know who the guilty party was.
And the guilty party is just as clever.
Just as well.
What we have now with that penalty is a second down at the 49-yard line, and Miami has got a lot of ground to pick up. 22 yards, in fact. David Woodley at 6'2", 196, has thrown for 13 touchdown passes this year. 3 today. We'll get a flag on that one. And Steve Howell, the second-year man from Baylor, stopped by Ed Simonini after getting 3, possibly 4 yards at the 46.
Look like that may be on Herb Orris, defensive tackle there, who jumped prematurely. They'll identify him this time.
If he hasn't made a deal with Fred, so that Mike won't work.
Maybe they've got something going. There have been a lot of flags here today in this game.
And yet we have had but 1 fumble. Now we'll get the call. Fred, turn it on.
wasn't overs. It was Ozdowski. Sorry, Mike. Or here. Sorry.
Fred Wyant, the referee this afternoon. Ball at the 46, second down, 17. Uriel Harris splits wide to the left net, more to the right. Steve Howell at the 40. Mike Barnes, 63, the tackler for the Baltimore Colts. It'll be third down, 12 at the 40-yard line, and we have 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to play, and we have a Miami Dolphin shaken up. Dolphins are leading by 10. They came into this game tied with the Baltimore Colts for third place, each team winning 7. Ronnie Lee, the tight end, is the injured man getting medical attention. Each team with a game to go. Miami will play the Jets next Saturday. That'll be a very interesting game on NBC. And next Sunday, the final week of the NFL season, NBC carries you all the way to the Super Bowl. So join Bryant Gumbel for all the latest news around the NFL, including a preview of the playoffs, all on NFL 80. And then a lot of exciting regional games, because so many of the representatives for the playoffs will be decided next week. For instance, Cleveland. Cleveland's got to beat Cincinnati. New England has to win and hope that Buffalo loses at San Francisco. Oakland is tied with San Diego in the West. And Buffalo, as we mentioned, at San Francisco. Denver and Seattle, Kansas City and Baltimore. It's going to be an exciting conclusion to this 1980 season. So follow it with us and right on through the Super Bowl on NBC. Detroit has defeated Tampa Bay today, 27-14. Ray Williams ran a kickoff back 91 yards for a touchdown to kind of cap that game off. But Tampa Bay, or Detroit rather, is still out of it. Minnesota beat Cleveland on the last play of the game today to win that Central Division championship.
You know, you talk about playoffs. It's going to be exciting next week with so many division titles still to be won. Baltimore out, but in 2 minutes ago, I remember those great years with the Niners. Let's see what Woodley does here. They got the lead, but if the Colts get the ball, I remember United used to work miracles in those last 2 minutes.
And the clock is showing 2 minutes. The 2-minute warning has been signaled to each team. Fred Wyant having a little discussion with the players on the field. We have 2 minutes to play in this game. They may be talking about the time on the clock. The situation being explained to Coach Don Shula. The clock, the stadium clock, showing 2 minutes left. But right now we've got a bit of a conversation in the middle of the field.
Well, they had an injury timeout there at 2:13. I don't know how they got down to 2 minutes without playman run, but they could have charged that to the Dolphins, or not had a timeout, just start the clock.
The Dolphins, by the way, will entertain the Colts will entertain the Kansas City Chiefs in their finale next week here in Baltimore. And as we mentioned earlier, Miami will play against the New York Jets. And we hope that you'll be tuned in to NBC to follow that ball game. A very unique telecast will be presented with no play-by-play announcers. And Bryant Gumbel will be down in Miami to host it. A game that has attracted a lot of attention, as NBC will present that game to you in your living room just like you were sitting in the stadium listening to the PA announcer. Well, whatever it was, we have 2 minutes left and no explanation as to the long discussion. The ball on the 40-yard line, third down and 12 coming up for the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins are leading at 24-10. They led at halftime 14-7, and then Baltimore tied it up in the third quarter. In this fourth period, a Von Schaman field goal and a Nat Moore touchdown pass from Woodley, accounting for the 10 points. Third and 12, Tony Nathan. Nathan won't get it. He's down to the 34. Sander Shiver, 54, the linebacker from Carson Newman. made the tackle.
That was a good play rather than going to a pass play, which you'd normally do in this yardage situation. But by keeping the ball on the ground, it forces Baltimore to use their timeout.
And Baltimore just used one. Baltimore just took a timeout. It'll be 4th down and 5 coming up for the Dolphins. The ball on the 33-yard line, where it's officially marked, 33-yard line of the Baltimore Colts. The Colts won the earlier meeting in Miami this year. But the Dolphins, you know, the Dolphins look like a different team, Carl. They really do, from what we saw earlier.
Well, all they do. Back when we saw that was early this season, that's when they were having their problems at quarterback with Greasy and Stock. They were calling Greasy the Cinderella Man winning those miracle games there. And since then, Woodley has come on to start 9 consecutive games, and they've got a different team out there. His confidence is certainly up, and I think they're a very stable team.
And yet, here was a kid that went to camp. He was drafted so far down the list, and looking at the quarterbacks that Miami already had in camp, they had Strock, they had Guy Benjamin, of course, they had Greasy, and he was saying, what chance do I have? So he went down to camp. He said, well, maybe it'll be an interesting trip anyway. And after Don Shula saw him in the first exhibition game, he said, there's no way we can cut this kid.
I'm not even sure he packed his bags before that first exhibition game. But he's got them packed now. I'm sure he's in Miami to stay.
4th and 5. Nathan on the power sweep. Nathan, I believe, has the first down. Ed Newman, number 64, was out there. He pulled out to lead the blocking. Shiver had to make the tackle. And then when Tony Nathan popped that afterburner, I believe he got it up for the first down as Shiver had to make the tackle.
Well, that really is an interesting call. They're ahead by 10 points. They don't want to give up the ball, but they certainly have no reason not to. You've got to give credit to Coach Don Shula there, head coach of the Miami Dolphins. Really a smart guy and a gutsy one.
Baltimore has one timeout left. Miami is not worried about that. The Dolphins have a 10-point lead. Look at that hand warmer down there, will you? That looks like something out of the Northland.
Not out of Minnesota, though.
That's the voice of Carl Eller of the Purple People Eaters with the Vikings at the University of Minnesota. First down. Right now, Woodley killing the clock. 1 minute left to play. And the clock running. Baltimore with one timeout remaining, apparently not going to utilize it.
Well, the situation here is that getting that first down, it gives the Dolphins 4 plays, and they can certainly use up the time on the clock. If Baltimore does use their time up, Miami still can run the clock out by just using their times of possession.
Miami ahead by 10. David Woodley's pass completion stats will not be impressive, but his quarterbacking will be. He is leading the Dolphins with a 10-point lead to this victory over the Baltimore Colts. He has thrown for 3 touchdowns this afternoon, and the clock ticks away with 18 seconds remaining. And the Baltimore Colts letting the clock roll, and they're now getting ready to move off the field. And so the Miami Dolphins have come back to beat the Colts.